And we're streaming the session 0?
People.
I don't know. I might cut it off. I just want to see if it'll work the way I want it to.
Okay.
Magic cylinder.
Why are you going through old Yu-Gi-Oh
So
cards?
I could have a volunteer check the stream.
Not it. I don't have TikTok.
It's not
It's on
TikTok, it's
Twitch.
Twitch.
Not it. I don't have TikTok.
Summoning dragon.
Wait,
Stop saying Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Splendid Venus.
I'm sorry. Give me a sec.
we're bopping up
Julie,
and down.
you might
You're
have
doing
to
great.
go push to talk.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Oh.
What do you mean, nah? I'm doing push to talk.
My dice channel does look a little funky, huh?
Does that work better?
Nice channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't see anything in your box. I saw the slideshow for a second.
You don't see anything where?
Oh, like I guess I do. You have the main picture of Roll20 there, but it just looks like it's a continuation of the background because it's the same image.
What?
Okay, there's that box. Okay, cool. There you go. Yeah, it's just at first I was struggling to differentiate the background image and the image of Roll20 because they were the same image, but then I realized one was scaled differently.
Okay. Does everybody do their settings? Like putting your display name up, changing the volume to, nope, I didn't change it to like, I'm gonna go 40%. Chat tech, it's gonna be none. Video display, I just put names only. They default to the bottom. Text chat, I'll leave that alone. Dice options, I like to click all three. Enable 3D dice and automatically roll, because I like to see them roll out on the screen. And it uses a physics engine instead of a random number generator. So sometimes if you're like Tasha, I do mine automatic. She does hers where she has to click where she wants to drop them, and she like rolls them across the screen that way. Everybody should have a character sheet. Does anybody not have one?
I have mine.
I got mine.
Oh yeah, I have mine too. I figured you knew that though.
Yeah, all right. So everybody go ahead and open your character sheet. These are going to be different. This is the 2024 character sheets. So I'll just open Tasha since she's not here, and everybody else can open their own. There is another way. This is the compact. Whatever you're looking at is going to be the compact version. Tasha hated it, and she was making retching noises. She was like, "This is the worst thing. I'm not going to play if this is the character sheet." And I was like,
Can't
"Okay."
compare.
And
On the
so
verge.
she pressed settings on it, and then she went to, I think it was advanced tools. Yeah, advanced tools. No, it was not advanced tools. What the hell did she go to that made it this way?
Who did what with where?
I don't know. Tasha did her character sheet.
I think
such
in the settings.
Manage. At the top right where it says manage in red letters.
There's also in settings character sheet settings.
Yeah, character sheet settings. D&D S or 5e 2014 or 2024.
Yeah, don't mess with that. We're using the 2024 because that's the rules and the sheets we're using. But if you go to manage, it's like a red. It looks like a wrench in the top right corner of your sheet. It should have sheet layouts. You're in compact. You can change it to standard. Standard is where you're gonna have to click more things, and you're gonna have to scroll down a lot more and go like kind of try to find everything. Versus the compact is the one that it defaults to. Here, I'll open up Julie's. I like the compact better. It just gives me all the information that I need right there. It
That
goes.
was it.
Here's your ability check. Here's your save check. Here are all your skills. Here are all your combat abilities. Here's your spells. Here's your inventory. Here's your feats.
Sorry, I gotta reload mine.
Okay.
Is
You're
it good
summoning a
soup?
Are you summoning a monster?
All right. When you go to your spells, this is something different. For anybody who's a spellcaster, you'll want to click manage, and then you want to make sure you have prepared spells toggled on. If you're a class that uses prepared spells, which I think all of you, I don't know. I don't think Cubed is. Right? Sorcerer, I think you just pick your spells and they're just always prepared.
Yep.
For everybody else, it added a bunch of spells, and you are limited in how many you can prepare based on your stats, based on your level. But we should have already done that. I believe at level 1 you'll have like 4 spells. Not your cantrip. Cantrips are always loaded. So go to like your first level spell, you'll see little check marks. This is how you keep up with your spell slots. Every time you use one, you just click a check mark, and then you'll know that, you've only got 1 left. So for Julie's character, I can see that she has like Bless and Cure Wounds, Guiding Bolt, and Disguise self-loaded. And if we needed to, we would press Manage, and then you would unclick those spells, and then click something else in its place. Does that make sense? And not just Julie, but everybody. Oh, Kendra went AFK, and Julie had to AFK.
I AFK'd like half an
I'm right
hour
here.
ago.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm only just now realizing I can pop out the character sheet into a separate window so it doesn't like disappear and then not.
mm-hmm. If you double click your character sheet, it just turns into a tab, and then you move that around.
I never knew that either.
All right, learning a lot of stuff. I remember now. Used to, when we would stream D&D, I would reboot my computer and then boot it back up like 20 minutes before we start playing. Because, it gets slow because I never turn it off for like weeks at a time. My computer's being a little bit slow. Okay. So I hope you got your sound settings, because I'm going to just press shuffle on these and let it play at random, and it's going to be a little bit garbage. And then we'll get started.
Okie dokie.
Make sure you have a way to keep notes, even if it's pen and paper or Google document. We plan on this being like a full campaign with reoccurring characters and themes, and immersive roleplay. Turn it up a little bit. You don't have to have the history of the world memorized, but you should be familiar with it enough to understand the basics of it.
There's like a music.
Yeah,
Love the ambience.
it should be pretty low. Remember, go to your settings, go to audio and video.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
audio and video, is it? Yeah, it should be under audio and video. Go
It
to audio,
just-
video, chat, master
Yeah.
music volume. I keep mine at 40. It should
Yeah,
be
that's what
very,
mine's at.
very, not very loud at all. Might actually have to turn mine up a little. Okay, so, are we ready?
I think so.
One
My
sec.
brain's
find
still in my
the
skull.
thing for the music.
Okay.
And what
Anybody wants
settings
to
is it?
practice learning how to roll their character dice and your skills and all that? Settings, go to settings, go to audio and video, and it'll say audio/video chat, master music volume, and I like to bring mine down to 40, so that's what I'm gonna like balance it at.
Where's my scissors?
Are you playing music right now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh, I had roll 20 muted.
It's pumping.
I'm playing with all my settings because I was like
Is Cube
blasting.
Yep.
The sad cat in the icons is here.
here?
I like his image rocks falls.
I got
Everyone dies. Good.
And if you go to our little Twitch, like again, this is mostly just for testing because we're not gonna like play. We're gonna get everything set up today. Look at the characters. They bounce when you talk. They do a little bounce and they light up.
Can you give me a link? I don't
Yeah.
have a Twitch. I don't think.
Twitch.tv/QThyPatootie. I'll put it in general.
Yeah.
I've always used like the Twitch app. I forgot what it was called, but it had less than 4% of Twitch streams used their own like the Twitch app. So they discontinued it back in May, and so I haven't streamed
Staring at
since
a
then.
taco ad. It knows I'm hungry.
Nice.
I would not be able to swallow tacos right now. How dare this ad?
All right. So, while every world's history is vast and fractured with missing pieces and forgotten perspectives, Krynn, which is where you're at, Krynn's tale has been shattered by the global catastrophe called the Cataclysm. They definitely stole this from World of Warcraft. I'm just kidding. This came out before that. The world of Krynn was forged and destroyed, yet broken and scarred, it continued on. Most of its people seeking merely to survive in their slowly healing lands, and they care little for the eons of the past. But the sages who kind of piece together the fragments of the past, they focus on 3 periods when they talk about history. They talk about before the Cataclysm, they talk about the Cataclysm itself, and the dire age since then. Krynn's earliest centuries have passed into mytho-history, the story beginning in the Age of Starbirth, when the gods themselves forged the world from the primordial chaos. This period's records are mere legends and scriptures, and few credit their details as facts. I'm going to go ahead and switch the map to make sure everybody can see. I'm going to go to Ansalon. That's kind of like the continent that you're on. Krynn's the name of the world. Ansalon is like, you know, this would be like
Hey.
North America. Can you see all this?
Hey,
No.
I have a question.
What's up?
No, I cannot.
Are
Bleh.
you gonna leave this up on Twitch so we can like
Yeah.
review? Okay.
Yes.
I can't see on Roll20. If we're talking about Twitch, it's fine.
Hubert is the only
Yeah.
male in this group. I love that.
Well, in real life, but amongst the players, Cubed is the only male. In the game, we also have one male, and they are not the same person. They
Yeah,
pulled
I
a
know.
switch.
I just amused because usually it's the other way around.
It's just random happenstance it felt like that. Our
Yeah.
area that we're
It's just
gonna
amused.
focus on, if I'm gonna zoom in on my map, which Julie, you don't have to see the Twitch stuff. You just have to go to Roll20. That is it. That's all that's gonna concern.
Yeah, but the map's not showing on Roll20.
Oh, it's not. Ooh,
That's
you're
not.
right. I have to do this. I haven't DM'd in a while. All right, it's been months. I gotta drag the bookmark.
Hey, look, there's a map with a lot of icons on it. Holy shit, fucking big map.
You're gonna have to zoom to 250%, and then right here is where you're at.
Oh, God.
This is Vogler.
Hold
This
on,
map
ping
is
it again.
humongous.
Found
Right
it.
here.
Zooming in.
I found it. It's rather north.
Yeah, and other locations, Salamnia, like this whole like area is Salamnia, or Salamnia, I think it's called. You're north of the Nightland. Where else? I believe this is where Cubed and Julie's characters would be from. Qualinesti. Kind of like Quel'Dorai in World of Warcraft. And this is where Nito's from, down here at the bottom. This is the Ice Wall Glacier. People just call it Ice Reach. She is going to be like a Frost Goliath giant, this person.
Ooh.
Because we're using the
Fancy.
new rules, so everything has like, the Goliaths are like, oh, you're not just a big, tall Viking human anymore. You are part giant, and you have to decide which part giant you are, and you get abilities based on that. And then as you level up, you get even more giant abilities. So at level 5, it's like, yeah, just go ahead and double your height. Be 15 feet tall, right? And it also increases your movement speed because you're bigger and you hit harder. And then she also has like some frosty techniques she can do. That's just on picking the species Goliath. And then Elf has new stuff in it, and they'll be a little overpowered because they always are. By the way, we only have 2 people in this campaign who can see in the dark, so that's a win for me. I love it when people can't.
Am I one of them?
What does that mean?
No, you wish. It is
I
the
don't-
2 elves.
Who chose Hubert to be a human?
Yeah. Hubert has little baby human eyes. Julie and Cubed are the only elves. They're the only ones who can see in the dark.
Where we call
Let's go.
it night lights.
We are the night lights. We are the night watches.
Alright, so after this Age of Starbirth came the Age of Dreams, and this is a time when heroes would battle the forces of evil, and many modern cultures and institutions saw their origins in this era, including the Knights of Salamnia and the Mages of the High Sorcery, which I believe we have one of each of those with us, and the Dwarven Kingdom of Thor Barden. Nobody picked a dwarf, so we're just going to ignore all their history. Ironically, these cultures often dismiss one another's foundational stories as just baseless myths. Like, you just made this up. My history is the only true history, because they're fiercely insistent of the veracity of their own lore, right? And it's like, no, the mages and Thor Barden, that's bullshit. But the knights, that's what started in the Age of Dreams. And during this 1,000-year period before the Cataclysm, it's been called the Age of Might, and there were several human nations that flourished, and they conquered vast swaths of the continent of Ensalon in the name of good. But the triumph of the Age of Might kind of sowed the seeds of its own downfall. Over the centuries, the city of Istar, here, I'll give you a little spoiler, I'll ping the city of Istar, it's right here. Can everybody see that? Oh, I think if I shift ping, it draws everybody's attention to that part. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's Istar.
Red
So over the
swirly doom
centuries,
looking thing.
yeah, this swirly whatever this is, right? The city of Istar in the eastern Ansalon, it grew into this continent-spanning empire, thanks in part to a military alliance with the Knights of Salamnia. Istar came to be ruled by a series of king priests who declared that Istar is the center of the world, and they themselves are the holy messengers of the gods of good. And it is under their leadership that Istar declared war on actions, on peoples, and even the thoughts that the king priest considered evil. So if you just have a bad thought, you better go repent, because you never know who's probing around in your mind fishing for those. And it would be a sin to even think bad things. They became increasingly rigid and theocratic, and Istar reached its apex of power just before its apocalyptic fall. You see, the last king priest undertook even more audacious, like magical feats, culminating in a ritual to attain godhood itself. And then they decided they would rule Kryn forever in the name of good. Like they would go from mortal priest, right, king priest, to a god. And we've already seen what their laws were. So what happens if this person reaches godhood, right? And at this point, all the other gods, good, bad, neutral, all of them that made this planet to begin with, they kind of joined forces and they said, fuck this guy. Like, and they condemned all of Istar. They were like, this ain't happening. And as a last effort to kind of avoid mass destruction, because they were like, we could just, bounce the whole planet. Hey, Fallen, I just saw you. Hold on, let me type aloha. We're getting ready for our D&D. So as this last kind of ditch effort to avoid destroying the whole planet, the gods sent 13 warnings, right? And it was a series of signs that were meant to deter the king priest. The trees began weeping blood. Fires raged unnaturally, and cyclones would strike the gleaming temple of the king priest over and over again, and they were having to weather against these storms. And the gods warned a few chosen mortals, reasoning that if any of them could reach Istar and prevent the ritual, the world might not be beyond redemption. That in itself sounds like a D&D campaign. The gods are saying, hey, we need you to stop this king priest. But those messengers failed. And the king priest and his follower, they just dismissed all the warnings as bullshit. They said, this is the workings of evil. And then they just kept doing what they were doing anyway. Anybody who opposed them was evil, obviously. And as the hour of the king priest ritual to attain godhood arrived, the gods just whisked away their most devout followers. Everybody who was all about some gods and deities got swept up, and then they went ahead and unleashed punishment for everybody else in the entire planet. And the way that they did that was they created a mountain of fire. It's a meteor that's also a volcano, and they plunged it from the sky, and they destroyed the entire continent of Istar. It's now called the Blood Sea, a new ocean that splits eastern Ansalan. It consumed the empire, coastlines shifted all over the world, sundering nations and drowning entire regions. Because everything you see right here that's water, this used to be land. And this red part, that's the blood of everybody who died in Istar. That's why they call it the Blood Sea. It was just that, cataclysmic. Yeah, so all these areas, some of them are these used to be mountaintops, and now suddenly they're beaches, right? And it drowned a lot of people, and it stranded ports miles away from the sea in some areas, and some lands escaped the worst of the destruction, but absolutely zero were spared divine wrath. The gods and their blessings just faded from the world. Because remember, this was a planet that they created, that they reigned over, and so you would have gods of the sea and agriculture and commerce, and just there was a lot of good. There was also a lot of bad, but there was a lot of shaping of this world. Halloween was really fun. I'll talk about it in a minute. Sorry, I was answering chat. Yeah, so they took away their blessings, and that's kind of a big deal. It's you're getting no help from them at all. And so this cataclysm ushered in a period of just chaos. And for the next 300 years, they've called this the time of darkness. The cultures and ecologies were radically altered. It's caused famine and plague and mass migrations. The Knights of Solamnia, the champions who might have kept Ansalon united, they were part of the mortals who were approached by the gods saying, please stop these king priests. They failed, and so they've become distrusted as former allies of Istar, and they've been persecuted across the continent. Even in Solamnia itself, which has this huge history, and it's named after them, right? People do not like them at all. They're like, this is your fault. You were chosen to do something about this, and you did nothing instead. Which isn't true. They tried, they just failed, right? And the Elven nations, I'm gonna zoom in on those a little bit. Quellanesti, and I believe the other one, Sylvanesti, right here. They shut their borders entirely. If you're not an elf, you can't come in. We're not leaving. We're not going. You're not coming in. just mind your business and we'll mind ours. The dwarves kind of did the same thing of Thorbarden. They withdrew to the deep tunnels underneath, refusing entrance to refugees from the surface. And many societies started just turning on one another, and they fell to disease and war. And suddenly you have these nations of hobgoblins and ogres that just start spreading everywhere, capitalizing on humanity's decline and just claiming entire regions for themselves. And much that survived the cataclysm was then lost in darkness. And at length, the worst effects of the disaster have waned, because it's been 350 years-ish. Though there are many elves and mountain dwarves that are still reclusive, other cultures have kind of tentatively rebuilt. An example, Sylvanesti, these elves would like turn the very trees into like silver and gold, and they would have these spires. And they are still pretty xenophobic. They still want you to mind your own business. They don't want anything to do with you. Versus Quellinesti was like, you know what? It's been some time. We've learned from our mistakes, and we got to have more friends that, you know, I don't know. They I do believe they became best friends with these guys right here. This is Thorbarden. They were so close to the dwarves that dwarf elf relations really flourished. What else? All right, so explorers have ventured forth the map that like you can kind of look at and see that again, this has been drastically altered, right? Like the whole continent is just in ruins pretty much, and societies have reestablished bonds of trade that unite and diversify them. As the civilizations of Kryn rebuilt and new societies arose, the world kind of learned to live with this very jarring truth that the gods are truly gone. They're not coming back. Religion on Kryn has been altered forever. True clerics, like the ones who actually can use magic gifted by the gods themselves, they used to work miracles on behalf of their gods. They would have this voice of a deity whisper to them, and they could feel this power surge through their bodies. That doesn't exist anymore. It's all gone. You never hear of it. It wasn't even here to begin with, right? That's what your ancestors might question, right? While some people remain devout and still going to temples and still offering prayer, even though they never ever get answered, many others started turning to false religions in search of answers and comfort. And some of these new faiths, they were founded by charlatans and just weird zealots, and some claimed the names of the gods themselves and just started impersonating gods. Others have just dismissed them entirely. In this radically changed world, bereft of immortal insight, truth kind of becomes subject to conjecture, even among Kryn's most dedicated scholars. So what you're going to find as we're role-playing in this world, because we're going to go all over. Like, this map's not just here to be pretty. We're going to go all over, and it's going to be like Lord of the Rings, like, kind of scale in epicness. And you'll get some pretty high levels eventually, and maybe fight some cool things that you can see on the map. It sure seems like a bunch of winged lizards here. Oh, and there's something right here in the corner. Interesting. As far as you know, dragons don't exist. In Dragonlance, there are no dragons. Like, that sounds like an oxymoron a little bit.
The irony.
But this is kind of the story of the dragons appearing, obviously. So at this point, if somebody says dragons, if you're an elf, then you would probably have a history of like, oh no, there were definitely dragons at some point. I know because thousands of years ago, the humans summoned them here. That would be kind of a xenophobic way of looking at it, but it's not entirely untrue. And then the humans cleaned up their own mess, and they got rid of all the dragons. So the humans brought them in, humans got rid of them. All the world that you're going to kind of travel, just think about like, almost like Fallout a little bit. It's like post-apocalyptic. That's what the Cataclysm was. That was the apocalypse. It ruined everything. And so even the places and the towns that you're going, sometimes you'll have almost the Statue of Liberty in a desert type vibes where you're like, what is this giant statue? What are these buildings? What did they used to be? And the answer is nobody knows anymore. Like, all that history is just gone. We have no idea. Most of it's turned into waste at this point. Even in a little fishing town of Vogler, you'll see their relics, and it's like, oh, this used to be a giant bridge that went across the river. Probably hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. A dwarf could probably tell you more on stonework, but yeah, it's just like, who built it? What was it for? We don't know. The only people who really kept a good handle on their religion were those kind of factions that we talked about with the high mages and the Knights of Solamnia, and then like the dwarves and the elven kingdoms. But they always, everything they did was amazing, and everything anybody else did probably didn't happen. Like that's kind of their perspective on it, right? And so they can't really agree what the history was. All right, so to recap, your characters are currently traveling to the fishing village of Vogler. Let's switch to the map of Vogler, because that'll be fun. And then I'll switch back a little bit when we go over where we're from. This is Vogler. You can see there's really only one road that enters here, and then there's cliffs on like either side of that road. And then they have a really, really big port. You can see they got docks all the way around here. This is where the Wharfringer's office is. This is the market. This is the wharf. This is the Brass Crab. If you zoom in, the building's actually shaped like a crab, and I have a map for that, and it's so cool. Here's that bridge I was talking about, Vogler's Crossing. It's just like, it's non-functional. It's just some leftover remnant from hundreds of years ago, and it's like, oh, that's a cool thing. And then there's little farms like on the sides and up here on the north. I believe the mayor's house is in the middle. We have the village circle here, and the Fishbowl is another little restaurant, whereas I think this is a tavern, so they have rooms for you to stay. The Fishbowl is a place to eat, and I mean, it's in the shape of a fishbowl. So again, your characters are traveling here for the funeral of Ispin Greenshield. Some of you may have been born and raised in this town. Maybe even some of you still live here. Some of you are visiting for the very first time ever. Some of you know one another fairly well. Some of you only know of one another, but you have at least all heard of each other, even if you've never met. And even for those born in Vogler like Hubert, you would have heard secondhand from Ispin Greenshield. Everybody he meets, he talks about. And he always talks about it like in a positive way, in a very like, oh, you won't believe this Goliath that I met this one time, and we were getting drunk and we did blah blah blah. Like, he's always got a story. He's got thousands and thousands of stories. So that's what we're gonna do today, is we're gonna try to uncover what we know about one another, and which of these stories were true and which ones were just made up. Ispin himself, he was a teacher, he was a trader, with a D, and an adventurer who touched your life, specifically your character's life, in some form or fashion. And at this point, we're getting ready to pay our respects and maybe see some familiar faces as well. So we need to talk about our characters. We need to know, who were they before once upon a time? Who are they now? How do all of you know one another? Who is close to who? Who doesn't know who? How did you know Ispin Greenshield? I believe the last bit of the homework was, let's make a story to tell at the funeral. We're not going to tell that today. That's going to be when we actually go do the funeral process. Then everybody's going to kind of go around and be like, my favorite memory of Ispin, this and this and this happened. That'll be in roleplay. That'll be either session 1 or 2, depending on if we live or die in session 1. So we'll go around the table, introduce ourselves. This is where the homework comes in. If you didn't do the homework, we'll start with someone else who did, and you could just improv all of the answers for your questions. And I'm going to write this down in a Google document just to like make sure I have all this so that I can set up next week's session. So, who are you? Where are you from? Where you been? What do you do? What do we know about your family? Do you have any friends? Is there someone you love, or inversely, someone you hate, or someone who just hates you even though you're indifferent to them? I also had questions about songs, but I skipped that because I thought it just wasn't as relevant anymore. I was going to say, what are your characters' favorite songs and what do the lyrics mean to them? What is your day-to-day life? We'll ask then about real estate, because unless you just haven't done that part, you get to pick a spot on this map, and it's like, we're going to turn this into something. I'm going to write it down on the map so I forever know what it is, and we'll involve it in the story. And that's what the Vogler real estate section was. And after we do our background information, we're going to pause while everybody finishes their notes on who everybody is. And then we're going to have a chance to talk about how we know each other. I have a relationship table, and we'll roll on it to see, who knows who and how. So who wants to go first?
I will. No one else wants to volunteer. I do apologize if at any reason I have to use her voice. It might not sound very good right now, but Starting off with the Yoo-Hoo. Right? That's where you want me to start on the homework
Yeah.
stuff?
Yep.
Phoenix, daughter of Sparrow and Robin. Born with red hair like her father and green eyes of her mother. Her wings start in red, orange, yellow, then purple. Reminding many other people of the great firebird, the phoenix, thus her namesake. Phoenix was raised with other skyfolk in their mountain home living in the cliffsides. It was there that their people got to meet Ispen Greenshield. Man became good friends with their people, often visiting, and after he promised to keep their secret when he left. He kept his word. Ispen was welcome among their people when he was by, given a place to rest, and even shared his stories of his adventures. Phoenix was enamored with these adventure stories. So when word of his passing reached them, Phoenix was grateful to be invited. Despite being the heir of the clan, she got to say goodbye to an old friend she grew up knowing. I can read, I promise. She donned a cloak after her wings were bound down to be unseen, and she headed to the Vogler to pay respects to the man her people owed much gratitude to. That's to you who I wrote.
Okay.
Shall we just keep
Yeah,
chugging down
keep
the
going.
line? Family. I put mother, Sparrow, chiefess of the Skyfolk Cliff Clan. Her wings are black and brown. Father, Robin, chief of the Skyfolk Cliff Clan. His wings are brown and red. And she's got a sibling, a younger brother, whose name is Raven. He has black wings. And I put a note here, for any reason she does not return, Raven will become the chief of the Cliff Clan. Then for friends, I put Cube's character / Ilaria. How do you say it?
Ilaria.
Phoenix met them when Ispen visited her people. Phoenix was young at their first meeting, but they were a friend to her people, so a friend of hers. Ilaria was a friend of Ispen who came with Ispen, and because Ispen was such a good friend with her people, also became friends with Ilaria. The last time Phoenix had seen Ilaria was when she was younger. She's now an adult, so it's been some time. That's the only friend I have.
Well, that's
She's too
about to
busy.
change.
I hope so. For love and hate, I put Phoenix doesn't have any strong relationships in hate or love. She was raised to do right by her people and hasn't really had time for such squabbles. Because she's been raised to basically become the next leader, so she hasn't really had time for relationships of either sort. The day to day, most of Phoenix's day has been studying her druid ability and preparing for the day she would take over the clan. She likes to read and write and will sometimes find time to do as such. Getting to know you, I put will be done. That's the questions thing. Do you want to do that now, or do you want me to jump down to the Vogler prime real estate?
What were the questions?
The getting to know you part was the questions that you roll for.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that now, or do you want me to
no.
read off the Vogler prime real estate thing I have?
Let's do the real estate.
Alright, I put her home is in the mountains, range, cliff sides, caverns, and whatnot. One place Phoenix would spend a lot of her time is on one of the cliff ridges was a large tree growing stubbornly out of the rock. She spent a lot of time here to think or just read or write, whatever she felt like doing.
How far do you think these cliffs are from Vogler? I put the world map up. This is where Vogler is. And technically, it even has cliffs around it, but it gets a little more, you can kind of look cliffy here. And then there's certainly
probably
mountains
more
here.
to the northeast, like that bit between the not there. Down and to the right of there.
Like here?
Down to the right.
I'm going down in Ryder. Even more down?
Okay, more
Even
right,
more
more
down?
right. You're down enough. Like along the water, that area, yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. That way it's not
Interesting.
super close, but not super far to where it would have been a place he would have stopped to rest, resupply, and stuff, which is how he built up that friendship with their people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm alive, I promise.
Okay, I will put a dot. Can you paint on here? See if it'll let you draw.
Let me get a brush. Oh, hold on. That's big.
Maybe pick the
Alright.
tiniest size, because this is a massive map.
Yeah. I'm gonna say within this entire maybe region here are like different cliff caverns.
Okay.
Here you go. And I made it red because she has red hair. You're welcome.
What would you call it?
They call themselves the Cliffside Clan.
Wrap. Delete. Text. Good enough. There. Alright, who wants to go next?
I can.
Okay.
Though it is going to be a little bit of improv because I did not see the bottom bit of homework. I don't know how to say my character's last name. So I'm just gonna say her first name.
Isn't it like spelled bough, like the bough of a tree? So like clan bough?
Clan Bao, okay. Azur Clan Bao grew up along, let me see the actual place real quick.
Can you say the name again? Esler?
Azur.
A-Z-U-R.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing because my congested, and I wanted to make sure I heard it correctly
I will
before
get
I
you a better
repeated
microphone.
that later.
Yeah, she grew up near the Qualinesti, but just outside of their borders, along with her family, who believed that the gods would one day return and would try to contact one of the gods as much as possible, believing that that would save them from this world. I'm sorry, let me turn this off push to talk real quick.
Okay.
Okay, there it goes. I gotta pull up my Google Doc. She was it was taken in by this clan and was raised by it. I'm sorry, I immediately said clan. For as long as she could live. But with constantly getting no feedback from this god, she began to believe that it didn't exist and she was being used for just essentially a twisted game in the minds of her elders. So she intentionally, how do I put this nicely?
Mm-hmm.
She decided she would, hold up, I'm looking up, the word. What's the word? Can't do.
She decided to give the middle finger to basically who she saw as cultists by having
Yes.
physical relations in their sacred temple.
She was caught, of course, and thrown out promptly, which is around the time Iston Greenfield found her, somewhere in the Plains of Dust after she had been thrown out. She then proceeded to essentially follow him throughout a few travels before settling around, I'd say, the New Coast or so. Again, purely improv.
Mm-hmm.
For relations, her relationship with her family is essentially gone. So I'd say her hate for that could be considered hate, but I'm not entirely sure if that works.
Yeah, that works.
Despite her romance and physical relationship, she does not have a love, as she did not care for the person who she had this relationship with.
Aha, so she's single.
Yes. She does have a mother and father who slightly support her, but not entirely. They essentially gave her a few supplies and said, "Alright, that's the best we can do, get out of here."
Damn, that was cold.
At least they gave her something.
This poor girl. This
Well,
poor thing. She
They're,
needs a blankie.
they
Give her a
all
blankie, swallow it.
practice and worship this kind of an evil god and we'll leave that name to be revealed later, maybe, because it does play a part of the story later. And their whole, like, I mean, all of her family, everybody, she was kind of forced into this religion, and it's like, this is what you wear, this is how you act, this is what you're allowed to say and do.
Oh,
And it was very reminiscent of Istar a little bit, and how they were like, you can't even think these things because that's a sin, and you're gonna have to, like, you remember in Harry Potter when they had to, like, write the things and the ink would draw from his blood and it would, like, carve it into his hand? Similar to that, right? And so
Very cool.
she's very like, I'm not dealing with any of this, because again, there's no voices of the gods here. There's nothing saying that they're right. This is just zealotry. Anyway.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is Phoenix needs to adopt her. Got it. Running joke from another server.
All good, all good. Sorry, my mic didn't pick that up. She does actually know. I always forget how to say their name. Google Translate help.
Zalai?
Zalai, yes. It's someone she met with when she traveled with Iston Greenfield, and it is someone
Ispen Green Shield. He has a green shield. It's very important.
Green Shield.
If you
And
go
she
to
went
his
up-
funeral and you say, me and Iston Greenfield were BFFs, they're gonna throw you out for getting
Shots
both
will be
names
fired. You will be thrown out, and you'll be in the
She
dirt.
can't be
for
thrown
weeks.
out twice.
Sorry.
Oh damn, she could be though.
I am terrible with pronunciation.
I have a pronunciation guide, but as I was going through it today, I realized it had a lot of stuff like, this is the vampire you encounter in chapter 8 type stuff. And I was like, nope, too many spoilers, so I just have to figure it out.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. She vaguely has heard of a few of the other characters, but not enough to actually know much about them outside of their first names and a story that may or may not have been made up.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I have, honestly. Let me double check and make sure I went over everything.
Did you want to add, like, a location to Vogler?
Oh, jeez. No. I'd say she's visiting for the funeral, so I don't see her having a house. And I don't have any really other ideas for, like, you know, like any real estate.
Alright,
so.
I need you to make a history check. The only reason I'm doing this is so that you get familiar with your character sheet and can, like, locate, because this is new. This is a new sheet for everybody. It's a new game. It's the.
I believe in you. You could do it.
I don't know why they didn't call it D&D 5.5. Right? They had a third and a 3.5. Why not a 5.5? Why call this? This is D&D 2024 when the last book doesn't come out until 2025. That's when the monster manual hits. So D&D 2024 is in completion in 2025. Interesting.
Roll.
That was it. Yep.
Yep, okay. Yeah, let me put this back on push to talk.
Okay, who wants to go next? Nito is in the kitchen, and she has taken 0 notes. But she said she'll rewatch the stream and write something. So that leaves Hubert.
Oh, if
the
everyone
other-
wants, I could drop. I think I already dropped my file actually, where everyone could just read it from there. Copy pasta.
Okay.
I also have taken 0 notes.
Wow.
My notes are vague.
To
I'm
be
too sick
fair,
to take notes, man. I'm just.
I
winging it.
don't want to meta. Like, as Hubert, I'm gonna just learn this stuff. Maybe.
Fair
Mhm.
enough.
Sounds like Hubert wants to go next.
Okay,
Yes.
Hubert can go next. Honestly, I was waiting for Q to, like, volunteer me. I knew he would eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So, my my character's name is Hubert. Some of you guys may know him from like some sea shanties or stuff. Where's my sheep? I'm nervous.
Why? This is
So,
the OC part.
Yeah, but I'm like,
Don't
do I talk in Hubert's voice? I always get nervous when I go to
Oh,
talk in
that's
like
a good idea. Use Hubert's voice to tell your history.
That's not fair. You didn't make me do it.
Well, I didn't have the idea till now.
Oh.
You are also sick.
I mean, I
and he
still
likes
could've
to
done it.
bully me. And he specifically likes to bully Hubert, I think. Hubert's
Yeah,
a bullyable
it's so
character.
fun. He makes such great noises when you bully him. You kick sand in his face, and it's just so derpy how he reacts.
Are you a playground bully?
A little bit.
Hi there, my name's Hubert Humpleberry. I'm a cook. I do some cooking. It's pretty good. I also farm a whole lot, and I live in this farm over here, on the East Coast. I don't know if I can make any kind of indications.
Hold
That's a
your left
big
click
word.
down
I
to
don't know.
ping.
I don't know how I know that word.
Alright,
So,
Hughes hasn't
this-
seen it, so it's fine.
This tiniest part is that's where I live, and this biggest part is that's where my bestest friend in the whole entire world lives. His name's Ed. He's an elephant. Funny thing is that Eastman Greenshield, he actually helped me get him. We'll get into that later. I was coming back from a trip with on the seas with Captain Jason Waterfalls, and there was a circus there. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into that later. No, I'm not telling my story in order, so I don't know where I am.
You're all good. I think it's very interesting.
Anyways, I pretty much like everybody's that like, if you ever need something or anything, I always want to help out, and I'll make sure you're fed. Like even if like you're trying to like steal my food, I'll just give you more food. You don't need to steal. I'll just give you some mores.
Oh, he said this
Oh.
man a sweetie. There's your Phoenix voice. Kind of. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Someone died. Phoenix spoke and they died. Oh no.
Is Nito getting on her computer? Is that why?
Yeah, she's switching from phone to computer.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
So-
Hubert's the type of person who like give his shirt off his back.
Oh.
But he just won't give his top hat. His top hat's his favorite hat.
Oh,
or Ed.
her avatar disappeared when she left the Discord. That's so cool. Sorry.
But yeah,
I'm looking
top
at the
hat
shirt.
and off limits.
He's adorable.
He's just a jolly little fellow who likes to feed people and stuff, and he welcomes everybody unless they're ever like mean to his family or friends.
So he's like
Um,
the mom of the group.
Or
I
the
literally
kid brother.
put down multiple.
Huh?
He's the well-meaning uncle, right?
Oh, meeting uncle. Okay.
And he
so Phoenix
came
used
to
to be
take-
the general mom of the group.
Yeah, so
I
Hubert
literally put down
babysit, but he's
multiple.
gonna like load him up on sugar,
Oh no.
but not in a mean way, just in a I don't know.
So, DM,
Mm-hmm.
you're not mad, are you?
About what?
Bottom right.
Oh, the dragon
Yep.
armor or cloak. Yeah, no, I saw that as it was being. No, I'm not mad. That just means that the first time you guys see this red dragon, it now has extra armor, and you can
Oh,
blame
yeah,
whoever
okay.
added this.
Oh, no.
The AC has increased by 2.
There's no dragons in this game.
Yeah, there's no
Oh,
dragons.
Yeah, there
what do
are
you
no
mean?
dragons in Dragonlance. I forgot.
What are you talking about? They don't exist.
Wee!
All right, so Cube, do you want to go next?
Is this
Oh.
the right map?
Uh-huh.
I didn't finish.
Oh, I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
No, she just gave the backstory thing. Gotta talk about the family and everything stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he lives in the farm with his uncle William. Forgot about that part. But yeah, I just had like 2 more sentences in my little bio. He does have the most educated background. He's learned a few things from the trader Ispin Greenshield, who he met again on a few excursions with Jason Waterfalls, and his only person he really has any kind of feelings towards so far is Lord Baccharis. Baccharis. He keeps offering Hubert ridiculous amounts of money to hunt Ed the elephant and have his head on his mantle. And yeah, Hubert's pretty disturbed by that.
How do you spell his name?
Hubert?
No, the Lord.
Baccharis, Bakaris. And I will ping right here this place that looks like a horseshoe. All of these buildings are the West Side House, and that is where Lord Baccharis is.
Oh, good thing I picked to live on the opposite side.
The wealthiest man in the entire town.
Ain't nobody like Lord Baccharis.
Well, he has a son. Baccharis the
One
Lesser.
One person likes Lord Baccharis.
Mm-hmm. Baccharis kind of a big deal, alright? He's super wealthy. He comes from a line of lords. And then his son, Baccharis the Lesser, he's very privileged, we'll say that.
You have leather-bound books or something?
He definitely does, and he will be at the funeral as well, and he'll let you know how much better he is than everyone else.
If
And
you
my
guys
favorite
are,
thing is he calls his dad Daddy. So, what's up?
if you guys are kind of making up your backstories at all, I suggest making a character for Q to play as fun little voice. It's fun to give the DMs lots of voices.
I hate doing
Yes.
voices.
I'm gonna make like 17 people in the cult that needs different voices.
Oh, that
I think-
cult burned to the ground. They're all dead.
I think I had 4
'Cause I don't
people
wanna
in my
voice them.
story.
Damn.
Right?
Okay. Hubert's turn. If and you wanna.
Did you call him Cubert?
Yeah, Spicy calls him that sometimes.
What?
Hubert. Sometimes. So, I have my notes all over the place. I got some in Roll20, some on Notepad. So I'm just gonna go down the homework. So, Ilaria. She is an elf. And pretty much she is from the more open group of elves, but that's primarily due to Ispin's doing. He helped our little, group of towns with some marauding goblins and hobgoblins, and if it wasn't for him, then I might not be around today. And as such, that allowed me and my my group of people to be a little more open to trade, a little more open to the others in the world. And as a result of this, Ilaria spent a lot of time just traveling with Ispin, not necessarily partaking of any dangerous combats or anything, but just that NPC that stays with the wagon when you go into a cave, or carrying around like just mundane things, almost like a squire but not really a squire. Just she was very fascinated that there was somebody, an outsider, willing to help us with no need for anything, no drive, no greed, no wanting payment. They just did it out of the kindness of their own heart, and that opened up so many avenues for her evolution as a person. And as such, she traveled with them for a good bit. And along that path, she came across Phoenix's tribe. And, Ispin, as the adventurer he is, he helped them out. And I learned of their location, albeit a bit far away. And I took that as another opportunity that, well, maybe the sins of the past can be forgotten or forgiven based on the actions you take in the future. So, I came along with them all the way to here, and we'll get to what happened after at that point. So as far as my family, they decided to stay back, help rebuild things, teach others that maybe other races aren't so bad. Like, we don't have to live in seclusion. That only leads to aggression and xenophobia, which gets nobody anywhere. So my family stays home. They're always welcoming if I come back, but we keep in touch. We keep in touch. But as elves, we have a very long lived lifespan, so we keep in touch very, very long-winded stints. Friends, well, there's about 3 of them I can think of. That right off the bat. Carmen, he's a nice kid, kind of young, definitely pretty helpful, as I am now in this town, but I've taken it to be my job to help with trading, as this seemed to be someplace that Ispin was quite fond of, and is a lot safer than being on adventures with him. So Carmen, yeah, younger guy, he usually helps me with some trade things here and there, more of a volunteer, but he comes around a lot, and I think he might have a crush on me, but I probably don't get it. Then there's Lorana. She's that friend that you can just hit the bars with. After a long day, you just hit the tavern, go drink, and have a good time. And that pretty much sums her up, the BFF. And then there's Kyle. I wasn't sure what kind of guard they have here, so I just sort of generalized it. So I'd say Kyle is maybe a member of the guard, or guard captain, or however they do security around here. And he is the kind of fellow that is relatively inquisitive, and the main reason I got to know him was because there was another individual, an enemy, or classified as enemy, Brock. Brock is the kind of jerk that has tried many times to get me in trouble, and I don't know if it's because of the xenophobia. I don't know if I did something to him and his family in the past, but whatever the case may be, he is always trying to, not necessarily get me killed or anything, but just trying to always that thorn in the side. And as such, Mr. Kyle, the guard, Mr. Kyle was the one who would have been sent to investigate constantly. So over the years of this constant, I guess in modern terms, swatting, Kyle's just me and Kyle have gotten along. He knows who I am and how I work, and he knows if anything comes from Brock, it's just pretty much to be disregarded. And of course, the final enemy, Lord Baccharis. And the only entry I have for him, and I quote, what a stuck-up dick. He reminds me too much of home.
See, this is the good stuff, because that means I get to add all these NPCs to Vogler. And right off the bat, I'm like, oh, Brock, yeah, he's best friends with Baccharis' son. I'm pretty sure they run in the same, circles, you know.
Goodness
This would be
gracious,
fun.
it's just a boy.
And then you'll definitely see Kyle for sure on duty because there aren't many like the guard here. You got to think more of like Andy Griffith times, you know. It's very wait, what is this? Wait, there we go. Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not sophisticated. There is one knight of Solamnia, and then she has like not a squire, but somebody who helps her with stuff. And then beyond that, like she's just the only representative of the knights here. The rest of them are like town guards. Um, in fact, the militia is so weak, they have to hire mercenaries and sell swords, uh, including some, you know, non-humanoid. Well, I don't know, like ogres and stuff. The people that you would have fought against. You do know that the town of Vogler has been like paying them for extra defense because there's a festival coming up in 2 days, and so they need all the protection they can get. But yeah, definitely Kyle would be one of probably I want to say there's like 24 guards that kind of like it's not I mean it's pretty crazy small, but it also means he stands out and when something is going to happen, he's probably going to be part of it and everybody would know like everybody's name in that kind of organization. As far as Carmen and Larona, is that right?
Lorena.
Spell it.
Luarana.
Okay. All right, I've got a tavern for her to hang out in. All right, we'll get some pictures going before next week, and then Carmen. Oh, I have. Let me switch back to Vogler. Told you this is my section for me to write down all the notes that everybody's telling me, so that I can weave it into like stories that are gonna come up. Because I'm like, all right, this is probably where one of them's gonna hang out, and guess what's south of that? This is the market. All these boats come here, and it's tiny, but it's almost like a night market a little bit, and it's got like the stalls and stuff, and like the cloths and the tents, and I don't know, it'll be cute. She'll probably hang out a lot there. Uh, anyway, I interrupted. Go ahead.
That's all good. Where was I at? Oh, so the day to day, pretty much I help with set like trade routes and whatnot, maybe logistics here and there. Um, by no means am I like a trade captain, but I have aspirations to open up my own little shop, be it here or somewhere else. But you know, I'm starting small with potions, and maybe I can open up a magic shop one day. Oh, also, back when I was back at home, I did do a lot of. I did study. You know, the family tried to put me through school and education because growing up, I always had unusual circumstances happen around me, and I never knew what it was or why these things happen. But there was just something about Ilaria that there was just something magical about her, and maybe a little bit chaotic and spontaneous. But we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. As far as my day to day, I help trade, and learning of Mr. Ispin's passing was a very important moment in her life. As elves, we live a long time, so we can go, 50, 60, 70 years and not meeting up with old friends and coming back and it's like we never left. But the fact that Ispin has passed, like for her, it just feels like a blink of an eye. Like it's like she blinked and he's gone. So that is definitely one of the big motivations for her as a character, like trying to get to know people and trying to understand what the shorter-lived species life is like, and trying to see the world through a different lens instead of just sort of existing or moving at a turtle's pace like elves might do. So yeah, I think pretty much at that point, Sorry, I gotta reread this. Yeah, it basically I just had written like it feels like only yesterday that she was traveling with Ispin, and it just kind of felt like yesterday people were praising his name, and now he's gone. And she refuses to let that legacy be forgotten, either through written, through spoken, or through her own deeds. His selflessness was a lesson to our people, and it's almost like it's my duty to give that same kindness to others. And then at the very end here, I have written, nope, that's going to come up at the funeral.
Can I just say,
Go ahead.
I love how deep the character is. It is very, very nice.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask if I might pick that up or not.
Yeah, it did. If the DM don't see it, it's fine to stay, right? Oh, that was from... Yeah, okay, I know that's fine. I was reading in the Discord. Okay, another point I want to bring up. This is a low magic setting. So much so that if you are caught using magic and you are not licensed, you are going to be doing some time, or you're going to have to pay a fine. So I know for Phoenix, right, you probably operate outside of these people's laws because you don't live here, right? You have your own place that you're kind of in charge of. And so the things that you can or can't do, you know, that's up to you how they deal with it. As far as Cube's character, you would have a license. You are allowed to, well, if you pass, that's how we're going to open up. Next week is basically going to be your licensing exam before you get to Vogler. Just light spoilers there. It'll be fun. Just a little one-on-one scenario, but presumably, hopefully you'll pass. And that kind of gives you like a little emblem. The high sorcerers, they're going to give you more of a formal training later. And you have to choose between red, black, or white cloaks. That's not what you're doing now. Right now, you're kind of like in the initiate phase. This is just to get your license and to know that there is some tests that will be coming up, and will periodically you'll be asked to do stuff basically. For anybody else who has magic, I don't believe anybody else has done anything like that. So if you're doing it in town, you will be in trouble. Cube's the only one who's allowed. I think everybody except one person does magic here, right? But some of you don't even know that you can do magic yet, and that'll come up too. All right, Nito, did you do your homework?
I could vaguely hear you over Dad's microphone.
Wait, is she very quiet for everybody else or just me?
Yes.
Extremely quiet.
She's
I've got her at
quiet.
200%, and I
Yeah.
cannot hear her.
She's always very quiet. She normally comes through on your microphone so much better.
Yeah, but no. Terrible, Tasha.
Fine, I'll just use yours.
But if you use mine, then your face won't bounce up and down on Twitch.
Well, do you want to hear me or do you want face to bounce up and down?
I want the face to bounce up and down.
Okay. So Zalai
There we go.
left her home in Ice Reach to become a squire, and maybe one day a knight, because she really wants to be part of the Knights of Salamnia. Is it Salamnia or Salamnia?
Either.
Okay.
Zalai is an only child. Her parents are still in Ice Reach. I am so loud right now. You really can't hear me?
Okay.
Alright, she's just gonna use mine, and then I'll put a test on her computer later to pick up, like, something's fucky going on. It's got you at, like, 10% or something. And isn't there a dial on your headset that increases your volume?
How do I do that?
I don't know.
I don't
Check
know, man.
it.
I don't think so.
No, and it's not like on a cord. Like this.
What about the desktop settings
That's
or the input
Like, it can't
or
go
even
up,
Discord?
all the way up.
maybe you've got it all the way turned down.
It's all the way up.
Push the talk button.
Kind of both ways.
Hello.
Go the opposite. Go all the way down.
I can't hear.
Oh. Alright, we'll do that tomorrow. Just use my microphone.
Okay. What did we actually hear? Anything?
We heard all of it. It was just very, very quiet.
Okay. So, Zalai is an only child. Her parents are still in Ice Reach. I can hear myself. So for friends, she has a fellow squire named Tael. They're very close friends. For the love-hate thing, we do have someone special. Zalai is very into this healer named Torin. And then arch rival is Sir Kaelen.
Don't read my notes while I'm writing them.
Garbage! What is that? Okay. For day to day, she wakes up early, does her daily tasks, follows her mentor person around on patrols. She really, really enjoys nature. So being outside is always a plus for her. She gets along with most of the knights, except for, some that aren't as honorable as they could be, namely Sir Kaelen. And she ultimately wants to become a Knight of the Rope.
Where are these other knights at?
How?
Geographic.
In the
What city? What city?
what? Bologna.
That is less of a city and more of an entire, this whole region.
Well, shit. I was under the impression it was a city. Okay.
Also, you lived way
no, I
down here.
don't.
I said
I-
you lived past tense.
Okay.
Past tense. Julie says that she moved to New Coast.
Oh, cool.
So maybe you went there and did some night stuff. It makes more sense for you to have done some night stuff here. Because I think this is a place we'll go. So Relgoth maybe.
Sure.
And you are aspiring to be a squire. You are not squiring any knights yet.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's going to be what we do next week. Is you will have been assigned a knight to follow.
What have I been doing for the last 2 months? She's
You
been squiring some damn body.
yeah, you kind of you're. I don't know. It's before
Like
you're
really
officially
start-
a squire. You are getting
Oh.
to that position.
Like a tryout.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Got
You
it.
you
And
can't
it-
just go in and then they open the door and say, "All right, you're gonna be with Steve. You're Steve Squire now."
Okay.
You remember in Fallout how they had squires that were chosen from that boot camp? Remember?
Yes, I do.
Similar to that. So
Okay.
there would be dozens of you before one of you actually gets promoted.
Well, that kind of sucks for me and the BFF tail. That
What?
means we're kind of rivals.
Yeah, but under these I don't know. I wouldn't call it rivals. You're in the same organization.
Okay. Anyway, for the
It's
real
like
estate
being
thing.
in-
What? Oh. So for the real estate thing, there is an unsanctioned marketplace.
Oh, that's in Vogler.
Anyway, that is where Zalai met Torin.
Sorry, I just based on your information, I just got an immediate idea for next week. Okay, continue. Sorry.
That's That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Where is it? This part?
Yes.
What's it called?
Well, it doesn't have a name. It's an unsanctioned marketplace.
The flea market?
No, like there's already like an official city market, but this place is kind of like an underground, like a little bit seedy, a little bit back alley type of place.
This is the Latino market. They sell Oreos instead of Oreos.
Don't
Is
do
that how
that!
it's
Don't do that!
Okay.
Don't do that.
We used to go get Oreos. I was trying to put a difference on, like, these are specialty goods. No?
No, it's like back alley, like not a special, not like seedy, like underground shit.
Okay.
Is
So
what I got.
how would you have any interaction with this underground market?
So, so Lai was looking for
Seems
a rare
pretty
herb
shady.
Huh?
Mhm.
and asked around, and this is the place that she was told to go. And Torin is an herbalist, so that's how they met.
Okay, so you want to be living here in Vogler?
So a speakeasy.
Okay, I thought you were traveling here for the funeral. All right, so that means you and Hubert, and I believe Alaria, right?
Wait, this town is called Bogler?
Yeah, it's a little fishing town.
That makes me feel the same way as when in Misfits of Magic they say Evan's last name.
What's his last name?
Count.
Kelp?
Count.
Kelp. Yeah, this is Vogler. Here's Vogler's Crossing. See, it's Vogler everywhere. All right, well then you would actually know the person who, I guess we'll say next week you'll officially begin squiring. Most of the nights they kind of come here like once every like 4 months or so. This is more like a patrol, right? That they come and touch down.
Oh,
There's
okay.
only one knight that lives here specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So for Sir, what's their name? I just wrote it down. Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
That would be more one that's probably taught you some, and you've probably like went on the road with them a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you weren't like their official squire. So they probably
No.
already had a squire.
Oh, I would not have worked under Sir Galen.
But that is somebody who would patrol here, especially with the holidays coming up. You have somebody you would already know then that you are going to start your journey to knighthood with someone named Sir Becklin.
Oh, nice.
What?
I thought I had
Sir Becklin has somebody that's similar to the position that you're already in right now. I want to say Derek, but it might be Darren or Derek. We'll know more next week.
Okay.
It's Hubert's best friend, basically,
Oh.
where he's like the gopher. He just goes for everything, gets the biscuits and the food, and like he's almost a servant who wishes he was a knight and a squire. He was kind of like raised by the town. He didn't have parents. So he will be a little envious of your position, but he's actually a really nice person. He's just like, I can't wait till it's my turn, and then I get to have a sword, and they're gonna teach me how to swing it, and I'm gonna be like a big hero. And every time I come to town, they're gonna be like, "Well, there goes Derek. He's a hero of Vogler. We're so proud of him, and everybody's gonna love me." That's kind of his mentality. But for now, he's just gonna go fetch food and clothes. Go in between. Because Becklin has chosen you instead as her squire. And to be fair, I believe she's retired. She's like 60. And she kind of looks like Julia Roberts. In fact, let me see if I can share just a picture. Yeah. Look at that. Look at her fucking helmet with the horns on it.
In what universe does that look like Julia Roberts?
She looks like a matronly Julia Roberts.
Do you know what Julia Roberts looks like?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Buff Granny.
What?
Buff Granny.
Yeah. This is what, yeah, that's exactly her. Look at that. Look at that.
Do you know who she actually looks kind of like?
Who?
The Olsons.
A little bit.
I see it. I see it.
All right. Well, now we get to do the fun part. Who wants to go first on the fun part?
What's the fun part?
Character relations.
Okay.
I gotta edit these so that they're.
I'll go first, sure. Let me add them.
I was thinking Blake Lively now that she's aging, kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Olsen says a better fit.
Okay. Olsen's fits. I still think Julie Roberts was fine. We're gonna start with Hubert. Zalai's answering and rolling. Hubert lives in the same town as you, so this is a person you know.
Okay.
Do you like Hubert or do you dislike Hubert?
Do I like Hubert?
And you guys have
I
to
don't know,
write
is
these things
Hubert a
down for
dickwad
me.
to me or not?
Hubert's really nice.
Great. Love Hubert
So
then.
I need you to roll a d20. All right, a 4. Why do you care about Hubert more than they care about you?
That can't be right.
Oh, it is. Hubert is way more meaningful to Zalai than she is to him. But why? What has happened that makes you think this guy's very, very meaningful to me? Maybe he did, or
I don't know. There's just something about Hubert that makes me want, like, I feel fiercely protective of him. And so I don't know what Hubert's feelings are towards me, but like I would die for that man.
Here's something. You know, one of the fuddy-duddies, one of the richer people of this town, he has been bribing Hubert with lots of... Hubert's poor. Hubert lives on a farm, and he doesn't even have the best house. The elephant lives better than Hubert does. And he lives with his uncle, William, who you know is very slow-talking. Hubert made these characters. Hubert did it, not him. And so Lord Baccharis is like, I will give you 500 gold to hunt that fucking elephant, right? And Hubert has always turned it down. Whereas a lot of people wouldn't be able to turn down money like that. Especially just for an animal, what you might even consider a farm animal. Even though it's not typical, it's still, nobody's really going to put a lot of importance on this random
I think
circus
I missed
elephant.
the part. Why does Hubert have an elephant?
Why does Hubert have an elephant named Ed? Kendra?
Yeah. Well, you see, this is a story that was going to be told at the funeral, but they
Oh, he's gonna tell
Hubert
us that.
and Jason Waterfalls, they just got back from.
You don't have to tell it. We'll tell it next week.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
He just does. You don't know.
All right. I bet it does.
It's just the biggest elephant in town.
Okay.
I want to make it stop hurting.
I'm sure Baba has a bandage. I don't know.
Okay, roll another
I'm sure
d20.
I was gonna say, I'm sure the only elephant in town as well.
Yeah.
20.
All right. What did Hubert do for you that makes you owe them a debt that you cannot repay? This is for both of you to kind of like improv and work together. What is something that Hubert did that was so massive in your eyes that you're like, I just cannot repay this debt?
Food.
Yeah, Hubert will feed you no matter what. He feeds anybody, even like if he's being robbed. It's like, oh, you wanted food? Like, here, take some more. Take more from me.
What if, because remember, you're part frost giant,
Mm-hmm.
so your culture and your foods are probably a lot different from the fishing village that
Oh,
is as
for
far
sure.
north as you can get.
1000%, yeah.
What if Hubert took the time to like learn like Goliath recipes from the south, just so he could have
Can I
something good for you
just-
to cook? Mhm.
So, like what?
I'm giving suggestions.
Oh, okay.
The idea is that you owe him more than you could repay.
Right.
And then he was suggesting, since he's a cook and a farmer, that maybe he just like was making you food that like reminded you of home that they don't have here.
That's nice. Okay, yeah.
You can
He's just
change
a
it.
nice person.
I was just thinking, like, I don't know, like, if there's already lore for frost giants, but I was kind of gonna base it on, like, Inuit practices,
Okay.
which would mean a lot of, like, whale and stuff like that.
So maybe understanding that he's poor, he's had like whale imported, just so he
That
can
is
be the
wild.
one that makes it for you.
If he did that,
and you're just like, where do you even get this from? And he's not telling you. He's like, I just wanted to make something. Is this okay with you, Kindred? Does that sound like something he'd do?
Well, I don't know if Hubert would lie, but Jason Waterfalls probably got the whale for him.
wow, that's quite an undertaking.
All right.
But Hubert can't really read, but like I feel like food is his love language, so it might be a little off.
Wow. Okay.
And I definitely know who Jason Waterfalls is. I play him on Wednesday D&D in his Atlas. He would love killing whales, and you know he wasn't gonna really necessarily do anything with the carcasses except laugh at them. So sure, he could cut some up and bring it to you, right?
What?
Throw his stepdaughter overboard to get him.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You gotta test the cannons on something.
Okay.
Oh, also Hubert loves doing cannonballs.
Cannonball fire!
Well, like no
Whoa.
jumping into.
I thought you said cannibals. Like cannibals. Like
Oh no.
We're not eating people, we're shooting balls out of a cannon.
No. Hubert likes to jump into the water and yell cannonball because he doesn't like to shoot people really.
yeah, okay. I was gonna be like, please don't get into cannibalism.
All right, Nito. What
Sweet
about
old Hubert is actually a cannibal. That'd be one hell of a twist.
Ilaria? I need you to roll a d20 about that character. My music keeps pausing at like 3 minutes.
Weird.
And I keep just pressing skip next track. But yeah, it's been pausing over and over. Interesting. Alright,
like
what'd
it
you get?
got louder.
A 20? Let's change it to something else. Okay. This is an elf.
Okay.
And with that comes a lot of like, you know, they walled themselves off from everybody
Okay.
as a species.
Okay.
Elves are kind of like the supermodels of this world, and you never ever see them. Mainly because they've separated themselves from the other mortal races, right?
Okay.
This elf has been living in town, same as
Okay.
you, for a
Okay.
little bit. Why do you not want to associate with this character?
I'm sorry. This elf has been living in town. Who's that?
For at least a little bit, they had like 3 NPCs that came along. So.
Okay. All right. How long? Like longer than?
How long have you been in town, Ilaria? Because I imagine it's something like they come and go, so I wouldn't say necessarily living in town, right?
I'd probably say a year or two, as far as like coming and going. But I'm out. I'd be out a lot because some travels take very long amount of time.
So this is just somebody who comes and goes.
What was the question?
Why do you not want to associate with this character?
I think that Zalai has a lot of, like, she knows what she looks like. You know,
Mhm.
she's got blue skin. It's weird to some people. And so, especially with elves having the reputation that they have, she's sort of wary of elves, kind of automatically.
And to be fair, one of your friends is an elf, and what happened to them? They got chased out of the elven capital by the other elves for not being part of that crazy cult. So that's not gonna make you like this other random elf any better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you already have this predisposition to not like them because they shun lesser creatures, basically. Yeah. And then when you meet another elf, they're like, oh yeah, I got kicked out by the other elf for not being helpful enough. Okay. We're gonna start with some prejudice. Some bias.
Let's go.
Alright, roll another d20.
I mean, it's not like I hate it, it's just kind of like...
Yeah, it's not hate, it's weariness. Yeah.
Wary.
Mm-hmm.
We're also pretty rare, so just the idea that there's one around.
Cubed.
Yes.
I was just laughing at your joke.
I need you to roll another d20 and not look at my notes, because that's none of your business. I don't care if I spell it wrong.
Bothering me. 7.
Are weary and wary not the same word?
No.
What is the difference?
Wary is like, I don't really like this person, so I'm gonna keep my distance.
No, that's
wary is I'm scared.
Wary.
There's weary as in you're hesitant, and there's weary as in you're tired as fuck.
She's telling me I'm spelling it wrong?
Weary is tired. Wary is kind of, I'm gonna keep my
Yeah. Wary.
I'm thinking of the wrong word.
Wary. Feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems.
You're getting killed next week.
Why?
I'm gonna look up whatever best friends you wrote down, and they're gonna have a horrible time.
Because
Alright, what did you roll? A 7?
Word? 7. Jeez.
Alright. What do you need to take from this character for their own good?
Well, based on my perception
This
of
person
elves,
you're wary of.
Yes, wary.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think I was just being country?
No.
Oh.
I just think I could just spell it this way and be fine.
What do I need to take from this character for their own good?
How do you feel about magic? You do not have any. It's very rare. Usually it's used by those in power to keep themselves in power to oppress others. And there is its own... There are black cloaks, red cloaks, and white cloaks. And they
so where I'm from, we do have a few magic users to help.
This would be more like summoning the evil energies of the moon to raise the dead kind of levels of like... It's very... There are towers that are built around the world, and only a specific club of membership are allowed to go in. And then those are the only ones who are allowed to use magic. So if you're here, if your friends were here, they would not be allowed to practice, and they would go to jail. Not this person. They could do whatever they want. Because they're better than everyone. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Well, I already had an idea.
What's your idea?
Just walked all over it. So just kind of playing off that whole wariness and playing into racial stereotypes. Or I guess they're saying species now, right?
Yeah.
Again, elves come off as very closed off to themselves, better than everyone, that sort of thing. So, pride.
All right, so you want to teach her a lesson in pride and prejudice.
No. Did you say that just so you could say that sentence?
No, as I was saying it, I was like, because of her species disposition, but I thought pride and prejudice. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, prejudice too. Yeah, pride and prejudice. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because Eli probably thinks Ilaria is prejudiced against her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she be? Everybody else kind of gives you.
A wide berth. Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
because you are.
A wide
You're not
bitch.
monstrous, but yeah, you're like 7+ feet tall
Mhm.
and blue
Mhm.
and muscular and
Yeah.
just kind of reminds him of like hobgoblins a little bit, but taller and
Wow.
bulkier.
Fucking A. Hobgoblins? Really?
I'd say, yeah, like a frosty hobgoblin.
Okay.
Okay.
What else
Like
about
the
her?
Yeti.
Azure.
Is it Azure?
I don't know. She don't know. She had to Google it. All right.
You don't know how to pronounce your character's
Google it
name?
again.
What is this character sacrificing to protect you? Hold on,
Do you
1
remember
minute.
Mary?
Ezra.
Are we on a hiatus real quick?
I think he went
Yeah,
to go
just
get
need
something.
1 minute.
I was just asking 'cause I have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, I'm back.
Alright. Now, what was the...
Ironically, someone just went to go to the bathroom, so
But she won't miss much. Oh, Julie's character. So this is the one elven friend that you have, the one that was kind of like thrown out because she did do it on purpose, but you know they fornicated in a sacred temple. But her parents were like, you know, here's some cheese, here's some beef jerky. It was nice knowing you. Never come here again. And so you've kind of traveled back and forth with them. They don't live in Vogler. They live pretty far south of here. But I believe Ispin would have introduced you. Okay, so what is that character sacrificing to protect you?
To protect little old me?
To protect you.
I'm trying to think, what would a 7-foot tall woman need protecting from?
You are living in a town that is predominantly human, kinder, and dwarf. And that is it. You are the only Goliath.
What's a kinder again?
It's like Kakiri from Legend of Zelda. They're like hobbits and elves had a baby. So very pretty, small, tiny people who are known to be like super curious.
Okay.
In the old books, they used to steal a lot, but they were like, well, we can't have that as a racial trait that they're all thieves because that sounds pretty racist. So they had to like re-identify them.
Got
It's
it.
just being curious.
Okay. So the town is predominantly Kinder.
Humans and dwarves, and you'll see as we play, you'll see the NPCs, like you'll see their images and stuff what they look like, and you'll even see some little babies, like kinder babies.
Babies!
Think of little pop stars that are 3.5 feet tall, but with big heads and pointy ears. The last time I played this, somebody played Ariana Grande, and then so I played Justin Bieber. He was obnoxious, and he kept winking at people with his tongue hanging out and calling them babe. Anyway, what is she protecting you from? I imagine she probably helps build your reputation against and dismantles like rumors against you.
Hot back.
Because I mean,
Rumors?
you're Goliath, so most people are gonna think that
People are rumoring about me?
they probably think you're illiterate. They probably think you just go around like stomping on animals and don't even know whenever you've got like dead squirrels hanging from your boots. No, you're not illiterate, but they think that. They think you're like super barbaric.
Okay.
I think that would fit.
Okay.
It's mostly, even without your, you're not asking her to do these things. It's more like when she hears rumors or gossip about you, she's the first person to stand up and be like, actually, she's not like that. And if you knew her, then you would know better. It's this.
Right. Okay.
Roll another one.
Okay.
I just thought of something for Zalai for Ilaria.
Oh, yeah, and the Kinder are fearless. So if you wanted to get into a bar fight with a Kinder, they would be the first one to arm wrestle you. They do not quake at
That's
all.
adorable. I love it.
Yeah. The characters they're all NPCs. They're just giving me more if I just introduce them to someone named Sam and then Sam dies, they don't care. But if I let them invent their own friends and family and then terrible things happen to them, then it's much more meaningful, right? I'm
Yes,
just kidding.
it
I won't
is.
do
Yes,
that.
Can you stop bringing it up? I feel like you
I'm
bring it
answering
up
the chat.
like all the time.
This
No, but
guy's
you
talking
nudged
to us.
me.
Oh. I'm not talking about Vampire the Masquerade.
It feels like you bring it up all the time.
That is not what we're talking about.
Okay.
It happened there too. I just want them to have concern for their town and for the NPCs. So if so and so is like, it's especially like, okay, when they're bringing up people they hate or people they love. If you have somebody that really gets on their nerves, I love to put those people in positions where they can succeed or where they can like stop you at something. And it's like, of course it had to be Kyle. Here he fucking is again. Everybody loves him for some reason. You have no idea why. And that way, it helps with the storytelling. 1 minute.
I did just think of something.
What?
For Zalai, why they won't like Ilaria? Maybe they overheard Brock a few too many times talking shit.
Nice. I'll write that down.
Bro promptly said he was going to be a gossip girl. Sorry if I'm talking a lot, by the way.
That's all right. Your turn to come up in a second. You have to talk a lot. All right. Something Cube just mentioned. Another reason you might not like Ilaria is because remember he has kind of like she has like this nemesis Brock, right? You remember? I think Brock would actually like you a lot, even though he's kind of a jerk to everybody else. I could see them thinking like might makes right kind of personality. And so when you have somebody who can fucking bench press 400 pounds and she's the tallest woman in the town, he's probably like, yeah, now that's a real woman right there. And then he would probably go out of his way to be nice to you. But then in the same breath, he's like, oh, you know that elf who comes here? Ilaria? That fucking bitch? And so that kind of feeds the thought to you, like,
Got it.
So she hates Brock too because she just hates humans. Got it. Right, that's what he would say. He's like, oh yeah, she also doesn't like how, like, you see how my mustache hairs are coming in? And it's not, between me and you, it's not specifically, it's kind of patchy. It's a little patchy. And she makes fun of me for that, so, you know, which isn't true at all. Like, Ilaria didn't do any of the stuff. But it's like stuff that he would tell you.
Okay.
He would, like, voice and project his own insecurities to you because you're, like, his confidant. I'm gonna, like, yeah, from now on, Brock really likes you.
Okay.
Hates her. Alright.
Okay.
Good. Now we got some.
That one's white.
Yes, he has some right
Oh,
right here.
her name's white.
Okay. Are you writing any of this down?
Thank you.
I was told there would be notes at the end, so I stopped taking notes.
No, at the beginning of this I said make sure everybody makes their own notes. This is a long campaign and all of this will matter.
Well, we'll be listening to it again Tuesday morning, so
Alright,
it's
so-
fine.
Azure protects her reputation from everyone. Alright, roll again. And then this will be the last one for her, and then we have Phoenix, and then we're done.
14.
14. I'm just gonna put 2 positives on this one because you're like best friends, kind of. What do you and Azure have a mutual weird love of? What's something weird that you both happen to like? Not like love.
Ooh,
Like collecting troll dolls.
No.
Level of weird.
no pressure.
You get to weigh in on this too, Julie. You get to like come up with this. What is something both of you would really love? If you have any suggestions.
Poisonous flowers. I'm just gonna start throwing out thoughts.
Yes.
Oh, that works. Because remember, you
Yes.
went to this little secret, unsanctioned market that you
Yes.
created. Yeah, all right.
That
So
works. That works beautifully, actually.
both collect
Mysterious.
poisonous
Let's go.
flowers. It's interesting because I believe Julie has a tool. Because with the new D&D 2024, your backstory gives you your stats and it gives you a feat and it also gives you your tools. And I think she can make things. I don't remember what it was. I don't think it's a poisoner's kit, but it was definitely something. All right, roll for Phoenix. Phoenix is somebody who does not live in Vogler, but has visited before. And Ispin would have told you a little about them, but not like where they live. But you've heard of like these, you know. I don't roll a d20, and the higher you get, the more likely it is that Ispin told you the truth, because it is a secret, and it's whether you kept the secret or not. Just roll a flat d20.
What?
Just before I give you more information, I need a d20.
I rolled an 8.
Oh, the 8. Well, we've rolled a bunch of d20s. Yeah, never mind. You don't know anything about like her physiology or species. So let's roll on the I do not know this person table.
Why? Well, now I'm curious.
You'll have to be curious till you meet next week.
All right.
You
If
can't-
only you were around for the
Did I
first
not
part.
roll already?
No, that was rolling to know if you have a secret. You rolled an 8.
I rolled a 7 before that.
That was for something else. That was for Julie's.
Oh.
This is for Phoenix.
Okay.
I heard the word Phoenix. What?
Thank you for following. Oh, we're doing roles between your character and Zalaya's character.
Okay, I'm trying very hard to pay attention.
I know. Sorry, I'm trying to push it along.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault. I'm sick. All right, roll away.
All right, we got a 16. What terrible loss did Phoenix suffer? This doesn't have to be true, because this could be a rumor, because this is a character that's unknown to you relatively. So, you would have heard this from Ispin Greenshield. What has he said that Phoenix has lost? Something that they've suffered. Phoenix, you get to pitch in ideas.
Well,
Like,
the last
collaborate.
time Phoenix saw Ispin, she was a little girl. So I don't know what she would have lost at that type of age.
Her eyesight, her hearing.
Oh
Loss
my
of her
god.
innocence.
Do what?
Loss of her.
Loss of her innocence? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Isn't she like been trained up to be like the next leader?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she doesn't get to be
How
a
about-
child.
loss of childhood, had to grow up too quickly.
Yeah, innocence can be taken so wrong.
Yeah, I definitely thought this was going towards a darker territory.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the blossoming of flowers
Got it.
and the
Okay.
loss of
it
innocence,
took me
kind
a
of,
minute.
yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
like a metaphor.
Okay.
I was like, we'll not do that kind of story.
Alright.
That's weird.
No.
Yeah, I'm
No.
okay with that.
Loss of childhood. Sorry.
She had to grow up at a young age, yeah. Oh, and as a reminder, she has her wings bound and stuff, so as far as y'all know, other than Ilaria, you'll all think she's just a human.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of rolling on just a flat D20. If they knew anything about your like physiology or any secrets that Ispin might have let slip, and that's the one she got an 8 on. I was like, if you got a 20 on that, then it'd be like, this is a secret that you know 99.999% of people in this town won't know, right?
Yeah.
But no, she doesn't. Okay, one more, Tasha.
8.
8 are from Decatur. Alright, based on what you know, how is Phoenix different from the rest of their family? So, Ispin's told you not about who they are, but just as like he knew this, child named Phoenix who had to grow up too quickly because they're gonna have to leave, like, presumably their clan, right? So, what do you know about this character that he would have told you? And again, it would have come from their childhood. How are they different from the rest of their family? Phoenix, do you have any ideas?
Well, she's got the most bright, colorful wings out of her family.
They don't know you have wings, right?
Well,
Perhaps
He-
an idea of like being adventurous or something like that.
well, I don't know, man. I can't think right now. All I got, like, snot at the front of my brain.
Oh goodness gracious!
Instead of feathers, we'll just say hair. And he means feathers.
But
and
yeah, she
plumage.
does have bright red hair. Her dad's hair is like a darker red, so that would make sense.
Alright, so you really don't know much about her. This is a girl who had to grow up too quickly, but you know she has the brightest hair in the family.
Fire red
Very
hair,
nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
And then it's going to turn out to be way more than that. Okay, so you're done.
Alright.
Let's scroll up to Hubert.
Alright, I'll mute.
Are you ready, Hubert? Oh, Kendra might be AFK.
No, I'm back.
Oh,
I keep doing that to you.
Well, welcome
I never
back.
say back.
okay.
I just go into your chat and start talking about Smarties. Am I rolling D100s? D20s? What am I doing?
D20s. For whatever person he tells you to roll for, I don't know. He's distracted. Q-Threat, come back to us.
I'm sorry. I was talking to Nito. You're just going to roll a d20. We're going to start with Ilaria. This is somebody you should know. So we'll at least do one positive, because Hubert doesn't really make enemies. And we already have somebody who hates Ilaria, so... so we need to even it out a little bit.
Is Hubert really going to hate anybody?
No.
When you think about it.
What great kindness did this character do that they don't even remember doing, but Hubert does?
Alaria.
Uh-huh.
Cube's character?
Yes. Elf girl. You know Brock doesn't like her, and if Brock doesn't like her, then Bakaris Jr. doesn't like her.
And she did something that I remember her doing. They don't remember doing.
Yep. A great kindness. Something they did for you, it was very meaningful to you, and it wasn't even a blip on their radar.
Okay. I'm gonna make it real mundane. Hubert was out
Okay.
at the market getting a whole bunch of ingredients to make something special. Maybe it was just something special for Zolaya. And he was carrying the ingredients home, and he was making sure he had everything, and something fell from his hands, and this little elf girl helped picked it up and find everything that Hubert dropped. Maybe it was dark, because can Cube's character see at night?
Yes,
Yep.
they can.
Yeah, that sounds like a good little plan. I like that idea.
All right. So is that all right with you, Alaria? Hubert dropped groceries and you picked them up in the dark.
I could even say, since I'm a sorcerer, maybe like before the groceries even hit the ground, I just was in the middle of a conversation and turned around and snapped my fingers and made it so none of the groceries actually hit the ground.
Nice.
And just kind of went back to my conversation.
Well, I was thinking, because you're magical, maybe like you would, I don't know, you would know exactly where they went. But yeah,
I
that
don't know why the
works.
music's so dramatic right now.
And the grocery picking up is real important, guys.
It's like Hubert's bringing home the groceries. It's like dun 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 dun. Dun. It's like, okay. Roll another d20.
I'm writing notes. Okay.
All right, 6. Maybe. No. Alright, we'll stick with the positive. What plan do you have with this character that excites both of you? Or at least excites you? How about that? What is Hubert excited about? Some kind of plan that he has that involves Alaria.
Does Alaria like swimming? Would Alaria go cannonball and with Hubert in the dark? A lot of things excite Hubert.
That's very similar to a song, just replace like cannonballs with fishing. Right?
I mean, Alara probably would have expressed wanting to like open up a shop and maybe like using some of your goods as part of it. Like probably starting off with like a potion shop and then maybe one day a magic shop, because potions need ingredients.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Cool. That sounds good. Making deals for ingredients to help pay off Uncle William's farm.
Alright. Roll a d20 for Azure. This should be somebody you don't know, but that you've heard of. And then I got an AFK for like 4 minutes. So you can think of a really cool thing by the time I get back. 14. What does this character... Oh, who does this character have a very public feud with? And that seems like it could be...
Ooh, this would be good.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Who's
I'll
the
be right back.
character? I don't know who I'm writing this about.
You said Azure, so me.
Oh, okay. Who do you have a public feud with?
That's my question, honestly. I guess I technically have a public feud with anyone who has like a negative relationship or spreading rumors about Zelaya. I'm also not saying her name right.
Ilaria?
So like, people who spread rumors about them, I guess.
About Zelaya, Nito's character?
Yeah. Because that's the only one I have, like, a actually knows this person relationship with. I don't know, maybe I got in a physical fight with one. That'd be hilarious. We could also just make up like a random NPC if that works.
That's always fun. Let's give them more voices to do.
Yes. What are we thinking for names? Like I can take a name and run with it.
About Ronald.
Boat Ronald.
What?
Boat Ronald?
I just said, what about Ronald?
Oh.
I think we're making fun of the Canadian accent now.
I thought it legitimately said Boat Ronald. I was gonna be like, alright, Boat Ronald. I'm so sorry.
No.
Yeah, Ronald.
Ronald. We need to think of the last name.
I'm back.
Ronald.
Sorry.
Can we make it a reference to Ronald McDonald?
What? All right. So, Azure has a public feud with who?
Ronald McDonald.
Say it again.
Ronald McDonald.
So just not even changing the name, just Ronald McDonald.
The Lord Donalds.
What?
Ronaldius McDonaldus. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, they were talking
the state thing if we want to do that.
Ronaldi
They're talking shit about-
McDonaldus.
Ronaldius
shit about
McDonaldus.
Zelaya. And Azure got into a physical altercation with them.
Yeah.
They're talking shit about who?
Zelaya. Nature's character.
Oh,
Lie.
it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Zelai. I don't know why I'm saying Zelaya. Zelai.
All right, so now we've got a clique forming. We have Ronaldius McDonaldus, whatever. And then he's best friends with Bakaris Jr. and I gotta scroll down. Brock.
I can't wait for them all to have a conversation.
Wait, that's gonna be amazing because Brock likes Zelai. And then Ronaldus doesn't. This is great.
It'd be hilarious if Ronald McDonald sounds like the Kentucky Fried Man.
No, that's what Lord Bakaris sounds like, actually.
Oh, okay.
I already had that set up. He's got like a secret blend of herbs and spices.
Do it.
I don't know how well I can pull it off, but I was thinking, Your Honor,
Well, I see
happen
there,
to
boy.
be the richest person here in Vogler, and I don't know.
You just gotta throw in some see here now, boy, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I gotta say, there were multiple times I've just been laughing to myself. I just need that known.
It's okay to laugh, as long as it doesn't make you cough your lungs out afterwards, which is why I'm trying not to laugh.
Oh
right.
no!
Hubert, roll another d20, please.
Oh, okay.
You got this, Hubert.
4.
Is that
What-
a good one?
What charming habit is this character known for throughout the village? She doesn't really go to the
I mean,
village.
it's an elf.
Let's see what I can find.
Well, she's an elf, and they're pretty rare outside of, I'm already forgetting how to say names. I'm so sorry.
Alaria?
Alaria. So outside of Alaria, I'm guessing there's not a lot of elves, so I suppose that's...
Yeah, well, I'm going to change the question. Instead, what do you think this character's hiding from you, Hubert? You know that they have a public feud with Ronaldius McDonaldus, and they're talking shit about Zolai, Ron was, and things got physical. What is something this elf is hiding from you?
They're secretly in love with Renatos.
I think they're hiding a cookbook.
Okay.
Which cookbook?
The gravy rations.
It's not gonna be the 7 secret herbs and spices.
Is it a cookbook or?
I mean, it could be if it's teaching you how to use those spices.
I don't know. It could be just something completely random and off too, because Hubert's really bad at this kind of thing. He just makes things up.
I wrote
his
down
head.
that Hubert believes that Azur is hiding a cookbook called Gravy Rations.
Gravy rations?
When we were in Atlas, and I was playing the character I'm playing on Wednesdays, Maximilian Voldemort, aka Jason Waterfalls, aka Four Georgeman, and a million other names, right? We snuck into the Navy base, and I was lockpicking all their stuff, and I found the Navy rations book, and it like fills you up, and it's really good, and it's what the Navy uses when they go on these missions, right? And so we lied and said it was gravy rations instead of Navy rations, and then I gave it to Hubert so that he could learn to cook them. And he had no idea that it was illegal.
People told me there's other cooks that that have learned how to cook that.
Well, maybe the Navy gave it to them, but like that's the only source is the Navy, and it was gotten because we stole it.
She cooks the best gravy around, therefore she must have the gravy rations book.
Okay, let's roll for Phoenix then. D20.
I'm ready, roll.
Ooh, a 1.
What does that mean?
was boring.
I say it good.
Ooh, okay. Huh. But you've never come to Vogler, right? Not since you were a kid, is that right?
I've never
Phoenix.
been to Vogler before.
Okay.
He
So
visited
it's
me in
gotta
our
be
cook
a
clan.
story that you've told about. So, what good thing have you heard about Phoenix that you can't believe is true?
From Ispen?
Yeah, Ispen would have told you something to Hubert and said, and like when he told you this thing, immediately you're like, this is too good to be true.
Did it have to be Ispen? I feel like Jason Waterfalls could have said it.
Also, Jason Waterfalls could have said it. He says a lot of stuff.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
Well, Hubert does get distracted by shiny objects. Can I see the world map, please?
Yeah. Good job.
Um,
You know, they're from
I
the
imagine-
Cliffside clan.
Cliffside Clan. We're here.
And we're here. I don't know why my map's unfocused right now.
You're unfocused right now. Try zooming out and in again.
You have the acceleration, accelerating.
Yeah. Oh, that worked. I
Okay.
pulled it out to like 50 and then back to 250 and it came back up.
Nailed it.
Good job.
Single-handedly, Phoenix
Saved
fought
the day.
off a bunch of crazed protectors guarding a treasure up in the northern wastes.
Oh shit. That's one hell of a tall tale.
And
I'm okay with it.
because they were by themselves, they weren't able to get all the gold, so there's still some treasure up there.
Alright, roll another d20.
Don't roll another one.
Kendra.
I'm writing notes.
Hiccups.
Prove it. Are they God?
Yep.
Funny.
It's so weird how that works.
16. We already
Bless you.
answered that one. Roll a... let me just... If this is coming from Maximilian. No. No. Roll again. 17. What? Nah, Hubert wouldn't manipulate somebody.
Hubert went at what?
It was like,
Manipulate someone.
what would you do to manipulate them or something? I was like, that doesn't fit.
I'm
Okay.
gonna try to manipulate them to let me sleep under their stairs.
How about this? When did you first realize that you loved this character? Either platonically or romantically. This person that you've never met and you've only heard stories about through Jason Waterfalls.
I don't know what's the story Jason Waterfall tell. I feel like Phoenix might have like had a herd of elephants following them to save them from something.
Herd of elephants.
know.
Actually, she's what they call in the East the elephant whisperer. She could just whisper into an elephant's gigantic ear and it'll do whatever she says. How about that?
I don't know if that would make me love them. So that could be used for good or bad.
Like hearing constant tales.
And she used Yeah, she
Maybe?
used this ability to migrate an entire herd of elephants across the northern waste. This was in
Okay.
between, the treasure hunters. And they say she's never met an elephant that she didn't like. And she's rumored to be like this beautiful, like, would-be queen, but there's a usurper. And
Oh,
so-
usurper?
Mhm.
Oh, her little brother.
Named Raven.
Wow, that's one hell of a twist on it. Poor Raven, he's a good boy. He only gets it if she never comes back. You hear that? She's gonna be usurped if you let her die.
Okay.
I don't mean to be that guy, but like, it's like 9 almost. When are we gonna close up? I can't
when we're
afford to mess with
done.
the schedule again.
All right, you can go next. Hubert, we'll come back to your Zolai question. I forget. Julie's got to go to bed. All right,
Okay.
Julie, roll a d20 for Hubert.
Where do I roll a d20 in roll 20, or should I just do one on Google?
No, on the roll 20. What? Where everybody can see it. It's got to be in front of everybody.
Alright, how do I do that?
/R space 1d20. Think. I just clicked the dice.
Just like in the chat, or?
Yeah. You can click the dice on the side
On the left side.
and then
on the
click
screen.
d20, or you can just type /roll space 1d20. Alright, yeah, that works. You got a 12. Alright, so you're not really from the town. So let me see what we got. What do you hope to gain by What do you hope to gain by humiliating this relative stranger?
Oh my goodness. Which character is this about?
Hubert.
I
Human
was
man
told-
owns an elephant. Mm-hmm.
By Brock, since they're a friend of Zalai,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe. I was told by Brock that this character was essentially hoarding all his skills and talents to make people pay higher and higher for it. So, by humiliating them, I hope that he essentially learns from this prideful stance that I believe he essentially has, despite that not being true.
Okay. Roll one more d20. You have been influenced by Brock. So you and Zalai actually get along with Brock, and Brock hates all 3 of the other party members. Probably doesn't hate Phoenix because he doesn't know Phoenix, but he would if he saw her. Night going off. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, you got a 3. Maybe. No. Alright, so what wonderful thing did you hear that this character did that the whole village was talking about? I'm gonna erase the word wonderful. What is something that you've heard that Hubert has done that the whole village was talking about?
I've heard Hubert constantly giving out food to people. I assume since he does that constantly. I'm a bit grateful for that, but I still believe by Brock's standards, he's only doing it so people don't kick him out. Does that sound alright?
How about she heard that Hubert only makes food to manipulate people into liking him?
Yes!
Wow, she can see right through Hubert. Okay, now we're gonna do Ilaria, who Brock also hates. This
Yep.
is another elf from the same place that you're from. So roll a d20. And do you think you would have known them before all this? Maybe.
No, they're from the opposite place, remember?
Nope, they're from the same one.
No, they're from Sylvanesti, they said.
No, they're from Qualinesti.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I wrote it down wrong.
If it was Sylvanesti, we would have had a whole different thing. There's been some fucked up shit that's happening there, and I'm glad nobody rolled from there because it gave me spoilers.
I got 1.
Oh, 1. What did this character do in the past that you resent them for? They're from the place
one
that you
thing
left.
Hearing from Brock
Yeah.
and other people, only
Yeah.
about rumors. This
Rumors
isn't someone,
that Brock gave you. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't someone the cult I was in knew at all because they were on the outskirts of Qualinesti.
Yeah.
Not really in the main border. I was told that she was very, very xenophobic and super rude to other species, and I constantly resent them for that as someone who was kicked out, and also because my best friend is, part giant.
Nice. Roll another d20. This is gonna be fun. I'm making everybody hate each other. So Laria,
I am-
Sounds like everybody just hates. Sounds like everybody just hates Ilaria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under the
Phoenix
direct
won't, I don't
influence,
think. She's just indifferent to you.
Yeah, under the direct influence of off-brand Draco Malfoy does the thing to you. I'm not letting this.
So I'm gonna change it. What insanity have you heard that this character shows warning signs of? This would also probably come from Brock, but what do we know about Ilaria, and how could we translate that into like an insanity?
So I assume a lot of magic doesn't exist in this town, right? So my thing is that not everyone believes they're actually like qualified to do magic, and also sometimes believes that they are secretly like preparing like this terrible dastardly spell for the entire town and like whispering to themselves, despite it just being incantations and such.
All right, those are two opposing ideas, but I wrote them both down. You're saying Ilaria doesn't even know, quotation marks, real magic. It's all smoke and mirror, but they're also working incantations against the town, like a little witch.
Well, they believe she's like talking to herself or like cursing the town. So like if she does have magic, who's to say she isn't using it against all of us?
Yeah, exactly. This will be fun because some terrible things are going to happen to this town, and we know who to blame now. Alright. Phoenix, this is somebody you've heard about from Ispin. So
I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
This is gonna go terribly wrong because I'm a character.
What do you need?
Sorry, I meant to, I'm already forgetting how to say names again.
Oh, Ilaria. Fuck that girl. Joking.
I am so sorry.
I was like, I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, I'm the only one who matters here.
It's like sitcoms. Like all the group of girls hating on that one girl.
Sorry, honey, you're just not it this week.
We are the mean girls. I got another 16. What on earth?
Damn.
All right.
16's back to back.
I don't feel
Okay,
good, guys.
so from what you've heard, actually, let's not do that one. No. What is this character doing that threatens their family's reputation? You don't know Phoenix. You've only heard stories about her, but apparently she's doing something that threatens her family's reputation.
I'm gonna guess, since she's rolling with Brock and them, that a lot of gossip gets to Azur's
Wait,
ears.
Brock and them? Question?
Brock and them.
Did I miss something?
Oh yeah. Azur's friends with Zalai, and so she's directly influenced by Brock because Azur is very protective of her friend. And Brock's like, oh, I'm also your friend's friend, so you're friends with me.
Brock's a little obnoxious, but you have to get over that. When he looks at Zalai, he calls her Muscle Mommy.
Damn. Okay.
It's a little cringe.
How am I tied in with Brock?
No, you're not. Azur is, and so she's getting her rumors about you from him.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Well, how does Brock know anything about me?
Brock knows
everything. Doesn't.
Oh, he makes it up out of his ass. Okay.
He hears the name and he starts just spouting.
He's the ass blower. Got it.
Essentially, what I've heard is that Phoenix is supposed to be married off, but insists that she will not be married off because she cannot be married off, and a bunch of
damn.
Brock says.
That'll be news to me, honey.
I'm sprinkling in things.
And that's your voice, by the way, or is as good as I can get it right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna alter this a little bit. I'm gonna give a suggestion. Brock told you that Phoenix was supposed to be married off. It's some woman from some outside desert clan, but insists that she can't because she has some kind of fungi growing out of her back, and it's so hideous that nobody will ever marry her.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Damn. Don't say this to her face. You'll be like, "Excuse me, say what?"
Brock be spreading rumors. What you gonna do?
Put my foot up his ass where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, we'll show everybody your back then. Prove them wrong.
I don't have to show anything to anyone.
I'm laughing so
Suspicious.
hard.
Suspicious.
You're suspicious. Why don't you show
Lola.
your back? Make sure you're not growing fungus.
Brock would just take his shirt off and helicopter it over his head.
Oh, damn. Okay. Mama
Alright.
cannot argue eye candy.
Alright, roll another d20.
Oh, that voice hurts right now. Oh, regret.
JK.
Rolling, give me a.
I'm alive.
Re-roll. You got a 16 again.
What's with all the 16s?
Yep.
I'm just lucky, I guess.
That's nothing. You just type in nonsense.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. We forgive. We don't forget, but we do forgive.
Okay. You've heard that she's involved with a scandal with something in
what?
Bogler. What was it?
Oh.
Scandal.
Wait,
I've heard
Where's Bogler?
he's
Bogler's where we all live.
been selling
Or where
counterfeit.
the main
Facts.
city is.
Oh,
Sorry.
Bogler. I heard you say Bogler like Boggle. I'm like, where the hell is Bogler?
I have heard from
I
Brock
see.
that he's been caught selling counterfeit artifacts and treasures from various planes, and that everybody knows they're fake, but she thinks they're stupid enough to believe it.
Wait, what? That
That's
Phoenix
what-
is selling these things?
Yeah.
Or...
Phoenix sells
That's-
counterfeits and fakes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood the statement right, because, like I said, it's not brain.
Yeah. Again, there has no way to fact check this because she's not in town for like more than a day or two.
Yeah. Unless she overhears it to clear it up herself, she won't be able to. So that's fine with me.
Alright.
You can believe what you want.
Roll. We're gonna do 2 positive rolls for Zolai. Go ahead. D20. 20. What did this character do for you that makes you owe them a debt that you cannot repay? We've already used that, so I'm going to skip to the next one. What item did Zolai give to you that you still treasure to today?
So my character has a lot of like just random items on their drawings, so I'm gonna use one of those. Zalai one day just gave me a very thick blue robe. It looks lightweight, but it's like nice and thick. It's very much like a winter coat that I later modified. And because of the way Azur used to be treated and where she grew up, this is like sacred to them. Clothing and its meanings, especially with colors like blue that are extremely rare. So to her, this is essentially Zalai saying, I will be by your side till the end, platonically.
Alright, roll another d20.
$18.
What is your first memory of Zalai?
Zalai being cornered by a bunch of these walrus-looking people before
Yep.
Green Shield and me ended up helping take them down. I more so stayed at the side more than anything, but I like to say I helped. And Zalai afterwards simply thanking us in a language that wait, do we speak the same language? Initially?
You both speak common, but she might have said it in like giant.
And her originally saying in a language I didn't understand at the time. Thank you. I don't know if my character understands that later or not, so I'm just leaving that open. Before she actually thanked us in common. And from there we simply got along and remained friends.
Let's see. Would you like to
Definitely.
learn giant as one of your languages? You get one extra.
You know what? Sure. That's everyone, right? Or wait, is there another one?
Another one what?
Another character, or I think I already rolled for everyone, right?
Yep. I'm just adding this one language. Ooh, my game is froze up.
No!
Okay, here we go. It's fixed. Got it. Okay. Alright, you can go to bed if you want to. We're gonna stay up and finish this. Games won't usually go this long. Well, yeah, Will, what are you talking about? Julie, it's 9:50.
Yeah, I'm usually in bed at 10, and I can't afford to mess up my sleep
You're usually in bed
schedule
at
again.
11. We just had daylight savings time. That means you
Oh.
gained an extra hour today.
Huh. That's weird. I don't feel different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm gonna
normally
go
wouldn't
ahead
stop
and-
for another 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start winding down, though, so that I'm able to sleep at 11 instead of being high energy.
Okay.
I'll see you guys.
What do you mean? High energy is the life of the party. You need to be pumping it. I'm only giving you a hard time. But have a good night, kiddo.
Good night.
Alright, now we gotta go back to Hubert.
Okay.
Okay, I think you only had 2 rolls left, and this is for Zalai. And let me just remind us what Zalai had for you. For Hubert, they said Zalai would die for Hubert. He has the biggest heart, he cooks her whales sometimes and other foods from her native land. Secretly is Jason Waterfalls who got the whale meat. Okay. So, roll a d20.
Oh, look. Just what Julie rolled.
18. I'm just gonna pick one that's a little different. What is the bravest thing you've ever seen this character do?
Bravest thing I've ever seen this character do. Well, they want to be a knight, right? So I assume... Oh, and they hate someone. We have a mutual hatred, don't we? Or is it the opposite?
Opposite.
So
She's friends with Brox.
Brock likes her, but doesn't, somebody else not like her?
Bronny is McDonald's?
Do they hate her?
Give me one.
Ilaria hates Brock.
Huh. Maybe Zolai stood up to... Brock is, the son, right? Of Lord Baccharis? Is that who he is?
Alright, I'm back.
Oh, he left, okay.
Baccharis? I don't know. Baccharis and Ron and Dude are all kind of friends.
No, I thought Baccharis was Brock's dad. Is that
No.
wrong? Okay.
No, there's
Brock
Baccharis
is-
Jr. and Baccharis Sr. Brock is just friends with them.
Brock
Is
was
Brock-
the one from my hatred that has become the staple of the hatred that everybody in the party
Yeah.
harbors for my
Hatred.
This is the character that Cube brought us.
Is he friends with Junior or
Yes.
Senior?
Junior.
Oh no, my pen broke. So yeah, my thought was is that They stuck up to Akar Sr.
Okay.
for bothering Hubert about his pet elephant, and Hubert was like, that's your friend's dad, like that was real brave of you, like sometimes it's hard to like stick up to your friends like parentals, like, and that just kind of blows Hubert's mind that they would do something like that.
Okay. Roll another d20. What is your private nickname for this character and why?
For
It's a lie.
July, Cube should be Zaled.
Why?
Well, you see, this season in Atlas, Hubert gave everybody Ed names. I don't know.
Okay.
Private
I put
nickname.
Zaled. He doesn't know why.
No. I could just say like Zozo.
Zozo.
No, that sounds like Bozo. So Led could be a nice name because like it references his favorite elephant
Yeah.
and his favorite knight to be.
Don't you have a best friend who also wishes to be a knight?
Allegedly. God. Okay, fine.
Darrett Highwater?
What's a good nickname? This is already a short name. It's hard.
What's the question?
They have to come up with a nickname for you.
Why not just Zoe?
She said, why not Zoe?
Good point.
How about Wellmeat? Because that's what you like to cook for her. Or you can call her Shark because sharks eat whales. No? None of these? Zaled works.
Shark bait. Ooh, ah.
Maybe just Zoli. Zoli.
Alright. I wrote it down. And now we're on... Oh, we still have 2 more people to go through, huh? Alright. Alaria, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start with Hubert. I need you to roll d20s about Hubert. Let's see what Hubert wrote about you. Hubert was getting ingredients, carrying them home. Something fell from his hands, and this little elf woman picked it up and found everything that Hubert had dropped in the dark. None of the groceries hit the ground because of magic. And then the magic shop talking about like using like Hubert's ingredients and stuff. So on a 13, we just answered that one. Try this one. What about Hubert always makes Alaria happy?
I'd probably say Hubert's endearing personality, kindness, the very thing that my homeland was very against until we got saved. So he probably exhibits very similar personality traits to Ispin. That selflessness, like Hubert's not necessarily going out saving villages, but the kindness and personality quirks are there.
He's very much just a humble like farmer. He is not an adventurer. He doesn't have chainmail. He has farmer's clothes, which give you an AC of 10 plus your dex mod. I'm just letting you know in advance, Kendra, that your character is very underpowered in the beginning. But you'll play catch up. It's all part of the development. Okay. Roll another d20. Nine. Oh, you've heard that Hubert does volunteer work. What is that? What does Hubert volunteer to do?
Probably cooks in probably cooks in like kitchens when like
So,
there's too many
kitchens.
people like out for the day or they're sick, and Hubert just steps in and does it just because Hubert enjoys cooking.
Okay, I'll put that like volunteers were like soup kitchens also, but that they cook for people who like need assistance or just like just basically volunteering his time and skills. All right, roll for Azure. Do a d20 and we'll look at what they wrote for you. They were told that Alaria is super rude to non-elves and Azure resents you. They think that you hate their best friend. They also don't know if you even know real magic. They think you fake all of your magic. Wow. They didn't like you at all. Okay. 5. What strange record does this character hold? It says in the village, but yeah, it could be because they've visited. So what is something that they hold the record on in the village?
Other than being the only other elf,
Most bombastic side eyes.
let me think. What would they hold a record for? Does it have to be pertaining to this village?
No.
Because I guess what I'm not sure of is Azure leaving like their cult something I would know or not necessarily?
Oh, you'd probably know. It was a big deal.
Okay. Then she would probably hold the record, at least in my eyes, to being the only person that I know of from our like location to get kicked out like that. Like we may not know the exact details, but she got kicked out, and she's the only elf that I know of that's ever been like, what is it, excommunicated or whatever, exiled.
Holds record for being the only woman that you know of excommunicated from both her temple and homeland. Must have done something terrible, even if the specifics are foggy.
Yep.
Alright, roll another d20. $15. Interesting. Why are so many of the fishermen afraid of this character?
Probably because... Oh, yeah. So probably because she's such friends with Brock, and, maybe she acts on some of those rumors, and I'm kind of a trader by nature, so I interact with a lot of the fishermen, a lot of the tradesmen.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the fact that she is in with Brock, and Brock has done some more heinous stuff. Maybe Brock sort of dared her to do a couple of things that, weren't necessarily the best of ideas. But actually, tied in the backstory. So maybe it was like Brock dared her to do something to me, which then is the reason that I even have any sort of a interaction with the guard, with Kyle. So like maybe she was in on a plan or two without necessarily knowing the full extent of something Brock made happen, and that's like the reason that me and Kyle get along so much now is because maybe a building burned down or some crates got knocked over and contents destroyed, all by Brock's influence on her, and Kyle had to investigate that kind of stuff, and here we are.
Alright, I put Azure scare some of the fishermen because she was dared to basically snitch to Kyle about Alaria's voodoo practices that resulted in crates being destroyed and caught on fire. Not knowing that Brock himself did it, they were like told that you did it, and they were the ones who were like, yeah. So basically she told on you, but it was because she was informed by Brock. I'm gonna put she snitched. Alright. Let's get to Phoenix. Roll d20s about her.
Yeah, roll him.
I should have made these single rolls instead of doubles, but here we are.
It's fine.
You have actually met this person before. Why was
Yep,
your
when she
only
was young.
brief interaction with this character so positive?
I was small and cute.
Probably that. But I'd probably say also Ispin had, some good words to say about Phoenix's family, and by extension, it's like, oh well, if he likes them, then maybe even being a little starstruck still at the time by Ispin, but being like, well, if he likes them, then therefore they must be good people.
Alright, roll another d20. 19. It says, what did this character give you that you treasure?
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
It could have been one of Phoenix's red feathers that she actually has in her hairpin. So it's not like it's something super, like niche or whatever. That think there's like it's the only one, but she could have given visitors some of their feathers. I think that's a custom in their tribe or clan, whatever. That if you're friends, you can get a feather from each other. So she could have given you one of them.
I was gonna say the exact same thing, actually.
There you go.
Nice.
The color you could decide. She has red, yellow, orange, and purpley feathers. So you put it. She would have let you pick the color.
Okay. Alright, roll another d20. I'm writing all this stuff down in Google Documents. Alright.
Me too.
Let's see. 6. Nope.
And who is this for?
This is for Zalai. What is this character doing, either knowingly or unknowingly, that hurts you?
She trusts Brock over me.
Oof. Oh, that one's a pretty obvious one, too. Damn. All right, yeah. Roll another d20, please. 6. Wait, you just rolled it. Reroll. What do you think that Zalai's hiding from you?
Hiding from me. Probably a lot of stuff that I want to say like maybe a lot of the stuff that Brock says, like if ever I bring it up, like they might never like interact with me, or maybe there's something that they know about Brock that I don't.
I just realized that person who was in our chat earlier watching this, they said the characters you know, are those players or NPCs? These are players, but I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I just read my screen just now. And I was like, oh, it's NPCs. They're just making up like characters that they know. They're talking about these character relationships things that they could read on my screen. Yeah. It's too late. This is 2 hours too late. But anyway, yep, this is about the players
they're
and
not watching
fleshing
anymore?
them out. Now they went to bed.
Whoopsies.
All
I
right.
probably would have figured it out as we kept going.
Yeah. They asked for like a copy of it. I got this from Kids on Bikes. And then just edit the questions a little bit. All right, so Phoenix. Let's ask some questions about Hubert. Let me see what Hubert said about you as you roll a d20. Hubert's stance on Phoenix. He knows that Phoenix single-handedly fought off Priest protecting a treasure in the Northern Waste and wasn't able to get all the gold, so it's still up there. And that Phoenix is a would-be queen, but there's a usurper named Raven. And Phoenix is beautiful and kind and migrated an entire herd of elephants across the desert. This is when Hubert realized he loved this person without ever meeting. Just
Okay, I rolled a 19.
character. 19.
Yep.
What scandal in the village was Hubert involved in?
I feel like the biggest scandal that he could have been involved in has something to do with his elephant, but what that scandal could be, I cannot think of that right now. I blame Cold.
He stole an elephant from the circus.
Yeah, the elephant was stolen from the circus.
Totally okay. That's the scandal, I know that.
And it wasn't to free the elephant to return it to the wilds. He selfishly keeps this elephant as a pet.
You know, it'd be funny, like, later down the line, if we ever had to break in and steal something, she'd be like, oh, Hubert, you could do this, and you'll be just fine. And you'd be like, what do you mean? Well, you've done it before. What do you mean? Well, you got your elephant out of the zoo, didn't you?
That's true. It's in
That'll
his
be
skill
fun.
wheelhouse now.
Yeah. Alright, another 20?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Boo.
Do you need me to reroll?
No, I'm just looking. Yeah, reroll.
Okay. 13.
What bad reputation does Hubert have?
I feel like I'm getting a lot of negatives here. Bad reputation. Over pushing his food. That seems like a very Huberty bad reputation.
For doing what to it?
No, over pushing his food, as in like, take this. Like, no, I'm good.
Putting all them other merchants out of business.
Yeah. Like, oh, you haven't eaten today? Have a muffin. I'm good, honey. I'm good. No, have the muffin. Okay, I'll take the fucking muffin. Just calm down.
All right.
That type of over pushing.
Got it. Let's roll for Ilaria.
Alright, another 20. 10. I promise I'm not dying.
What lengths would you go to in order to defend this character?
Who?
Alaria.
I'd probably shake a bitch. They're considered a trusted person within their clan, and that's very important to them. So if they needed a bitch shanked, Phoenix would be your girl.
Alright, roll again.
Maybe not so blatantly, but she could definitely make a body disappear. She's got connections somewhere. She's the heir of a clan. She's got connections. Another one?
Uh-huh.
12.
Well. Maybe. No. What about this character makes you happy?
Well, when they first met, it was back when Isbin was... She was young. Isbin was telling the adventure stories and whatnot. So maybe seeing her would remind her of that. Like nostalgic type happy. Does that work?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because I don't know if I could think of anything else.
Well, and Ilar is very, like, for being treated like an outsider in a lot of cases, she still is very kind to people. Like, even though
But you were
Brock's
never
a dick-
treated as an outsider at their place.
Yeah. But I mean, like, in this town,
You had
elves
the
are...
Isbin courtesy at the get-go, and then you made a name for yourself there on your own. So I assume you'd be trading with her peers and stuff for a while, too, because you're a trader.
Yeah. Alright, let's get to Azure. Roll a d20. What did they write about you?
A 4.
Phoenix was supposed to be married off, but she can't find someone because of some ugly fungi growing on her back, and it's so hideous that no one will ever marry her. She also sells counterfeits and fakes and takes advantage of the fact that nobody travels much, and so they don't know if these are fake jewels or what. Alright. So,
Well,
4. Interesting enough. What charming habit does Azure, like, is she known for throughout the village? She doesn't visit a lot, but when she does, there's a charming habit that she has, which is...
she smells nice. I don't know. Phoenix, this is her first time at the village. Like, Hubert would be more obvious about the cooking stuff, but
Yeah.
don't know
I
what
put it
Azure
down.
would do.
She's known for smelling nice. Alright, roll another
Okay.
d20.
Okay. 11.
What bad thing have you heard about this character that you can't believe is true?
That they allowed some boxes to catch on fire in some incident. Tying it into Elara's thing, but
Yeah.
it's one of those misconstrued things that get passed down the grapevine. So instead of just reporting it, Phoenix has overheard that she had a part in catching them on fire. She did it. She
I
helped
put,
do it. One or
you
the
heard
other.
that Azure was the one who set the boxes on fire and blamed the other elf.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Alright.
It would also explain why the people are afraid of her, too. If
Yeah.
they think that she had something to do with it.
Yeah.
So it's all coming together.
They're not gonna let her get on the boat. Alright. Roll a d20 for Zolai.
Another d20. Zolai. 5.
Wait, let me see what she wrote about you. She heard that you lost your childhood, you had to grow up too quickly, and have really bright, multicolored hair. So they don't know you that well.
Oh, my hair's what color?
It's not what she heard.
My
She heard
wings.
it's orange and purplish and red.
That's her wings.
Yeah, but they don't know you have
I just... Yeah, so that's why I said her hair's only red.
But Ispin was talking about your bright, multicolored, and then he corrected himself, hair.
Oh. I see. It's been throwing me under the fucking bus. Or wagon in this case.
And he thought he was saying something nice and descriptive, and then he was like, I can't say that they have wings. So then he just replaced it with, or instead of feathers, it's like, hair.
Hair. And then she's gonna meet her, and she's gonna be like, where's all your colors? Like, what the hell do you mean all my colors?
Alright, let's see, let's do... No.
I think I rolled a 5.
What
Do you need me to reroll?
strange record does this character have in the village?
Height advantage.
That makes sense. Known for being the tallest woman in the village. Which, yeah, that would be true. Roll
She is
again.
a giant. Roll again, okay. 11.
Alright, we've already used that one. Ooh. What have you heard that this character does that would immediately make you lose your temper if she did it in front of you?
The only thing that would make Phoenix really lose her temper after all the training she's had is if she's, like, lately beaten an animal. Because they're important to Phoenix's culture and their people.
Or talking shit to a particular BFF of yours.
Oh, maybe.
Well, earlier I was talking about how people would spread rumors about Goliaths, and Azure would have to dismantle those, right? And some of them would be like, if she like stepped on a squirrel while she was walking into town, she would just like let it be attached to her boot as roadkill because she doesn't like animals. They think animals don't have spirits or souls because she's a Goliath, and none of that's true. So I put, you heard that Zalai beats animals because they don't have souls.
Okay.
And this is just a rumor. You don't know this, but it is like a side eye kind
I'll
of.
still stab somebody for you, BFF. Don't worry.
All right. Well, we're done.
Yeah, we did it, and I'm not dead.
And we
I feel
finished
like I
on
need to go
time.
fall into bed though.
All right. Well, I got a lot of ammunition, and I'm ready. Some of it's going to be in little flashbacks, I think. I think I'm going to give everybody kind of a solo opportunity. And
Would
then
you
we're gonna...
like me to do AIs of her family members?
Okay.
That's not an okay. That's a yes or no. Would it help you if I did it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that next time I'm able to be upright. Sorry, I derailed you.
A little bit.
Sorry.
Okay, so everybody's gonna get like a little 1v1, and then it's gonna be like everybody coming together, kind of like meeting, and then it'll be like going to the funeral and all that. I can say the 1v1s are gonna be, Julie's gonna have like, because she's a cleric, so it's like we just talked about how the gods aren't answering and not talking to anybody, and how she gave up on that temple and basically flipped at the bird. So how could she possibly be like a cleric, right? That's gonna be her story of what happens. Tasha's is gonna be probably training with Becklin about being promoted into a squire. Cubes is gonna be your assessment and your test, which I already have 2 or 3 maps for it. I think just 2 prepared for. I've already got, like, I already know what the test is, and it's not just, you know, it's gonna be like, what do you do? How do you solve this? And there is a time limit, and that'll be fun. And then for Phoenix, I don't have anything yet.
Oh.
You're the one I have to catch up. Oh, I also don't have one for Hubert.
Well, she's always
Cooking
felt close
contest.
to animals and stuff because they're important to her people. That helps, Eddie.
That does. Ooh, I could do like an animal-based like detective type scenario, figuring out clues, or something that could foreshadow something that'll happen later. I don't know. I'll come up with it. Hubert's
believe
probably
you.
gonna be something derpy, like a cooking contest. I'm just gonna make him like maybe it's held at the wharf or something. That could be fun. And then it'll be like all these things should send you towards each other.
Hubert's very in tune with animals as well.
Or what I could do is I could piggyback Nito, Hubert, and Phoenix into the same scenario. Because that would make sense. And then that way everybody has like an equally lengthy like thing. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud mostly at this point. How I want to do it, because do I want the whole group to come together? I kind of want the whole group to come together. Yeah, no, I'll make 5 individual tests and then 1 group test, and then that'll be our whole session, because that'll probably take like 3 to 4 hours.
It'll probably
I'm
be
ready.
2 sessions.
It's not gonna be 2 sessions. I'm gonna hurry people up and say go, go, go. It might be 2
Okay.
sessions.
I'm taking bets.
All right, well, that's it.
Huzzah.
Wait, how do I raid
Excited.
somebody? I'm gonna raid Goose 0505.
Everybody tell him he's pretty. Oh, I heard myself say that. Well, I hated that.
I'm looking forward to this session.
What?
And I hope that I said I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Look at this nerd playing Red Dead.
I can't wait to get bullied so hard the first session.
Oh, you will be. Oh yeah, we're playing we're playing on his server that he's on too. We just joined.
How was the zero session? Kendra, how are you doing? Sagey dog.
I'm gonna give
How are
him
you
a
doing,
follow. I didn't
Sadie?
know he was on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had forgotten, but I had actually remade a Twitch account to be able to sub to you or follow
Sagey,
you,
thank you
whatever.
for the follow.
Ain't that hilarious?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tell me about the zero session. I was watching before I started streaming, so I saw most of it. Well, I saw half of it, probably. Let me get you a shout out here. I really liked how you guys were setting up characters. Yes, dude. That was AFK eating, don't lie. Oh, right now? I was actually sitting and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my weapons.
Clean them.
Okay, good night.
Yeah,
Good name.
it looked really good. And so in, was it, it's D&D Beyond, right?
Did you actually
How you
stop
have
streaming,
all of the